1, 2, 3. Hello, friends. As always,
It's great.
comment
First image.
and let us know.
Yeah.
That's what I'm
You
talking
worked
about.
so
Very
hard
first image.
to get.
That's what happens, man.
You worked so hard to obscure and crop that out, and then
Yeah.
draw direct attention to start out.
I completely screwed up John this morning trying to crop out the lower area, and then that's the very first thing y'all see. So,
Tell us
so
if we're
sorry.
live. As long as you can hear us, we are good to go.
Konnichiwa
Tell us if you can hear us.
from Lucifer.
And if you can hear us,
yes.
I would love it if you could go ahead, hit that like button. Can we make this chat a little bit bigger on our end, John? Or is there a way to punch it in? It looks really
Command
tiny,
plus,
doesn't it?
Command plus, maybe.
Command plus. Hold on, guys. There we
There
go.
you
That's
go.
The
good.
beauty of it is
Yeah.
if you zoom into one YouTube window, you have to zoom into all of these. So needing the super chats to be huge helps the chat.
Deontay, Josessi, Faith, Helena, what's going on?
Dan
We got some people
Dibble.
coming in here.
Loud and
Always
clear.
Hussein. I saw Freddy Krueger, Josh Rosales, Josh Jones.
All right, guys. So before we start kicking off this stream, hit that like button. B, start give quick thoughts in the chat. Quick thoughts in the chat of what
Yeah.
you guys think of this movie. Quick thoughts on what you thought of the movie. Really,
had
really
a-
fast. Really
a
fast.
weekend to
Spitball
soak
it out.
in.
Spitball it out. We waited till Monday. Today's Labor Day in the States. Is Labor Day a?
It's a national holiday. Every banks and stuff are closed.
But is it worldwide?
Yes, globally
Yes.
they celebrate it.
Labor
Really?
Day
Every
is a
country,
worldwide
including Uganda.
Is that bullshit? You guys are messing with me. I'm still waking up.
I don't know
that's
if
the theme
Anthony
of the
is
live
serious
stream.
about the
No, I was
Uganda
just
part or
joking.
not.
Hey, it's Shara.
I don't know what she's doing here. Do you like having
Okay.
that info up there?
All right.
The time and all that? They don't.
Oh
you don't
my
care?
God, no, John, get rid of it. That was my fault. We might check out James Bond Malignant. Shang-Chi is incredible. Looks like most people are actually really enjoying this movie quite a bit.
Hey man, it made a lot of money.
Okay,
I
cool.
made a couple bucks.
Achara just trying to steal attention from the chat right now, or is that someone posing as Achara?
It's more likely someone posing as a charm.
Well, that's even
Because
better.
she's got shit to do.
All right, guys. Well, you guys control this stream in more ways than you realize. You guys dictate the way this conversation goes. I'm loving hearing how many of you guys really enjoyed this movie. I saw it twice. You saw it twice?
I saw it twice.
Two times.
You saw it twice too, John? Did you like it more the second time, John, or less the second time?
I liked it.
It went down, didn't it? It went down a lot for you.
That's right. I hate it
You
now.
were like, I thought I liked Asian people
I don't
until
like
I saw it the second
entire
time.
Asian
Yeah.
community of the world any longer. No. I definitely enjoyed it the second
Hey,
time.
I walked out of that theater going, I like Asian people now. I don't know why.
It's weird. I walked out of the second viewing having enjoyed the movie more. I thought it was a smoother experience overall, but I do have a clearer picture of my overall opinion, I guess. So in terms of knowing what my criticisms would be, I have a better idea of those now. Yeah, especially on second viewing, just knowing what's coming, I thought it played smoother.
That's exactly what I said.
Yeah, thank you guys for the super chats that are coming, and we'll get to them in a minute. You know how we do. This is how it goes. We interact with the live stream chat, and then we're like, no, let's earn our way to get into the super chats. Then we go to the super chats, then people in the live stream chat get a little bit annoyed with us.
How come you're only talking about the super chats?
I'm
Only
also
the
trying to talk about the
super
parts that are not the
chats.
super chats. but yeah, we got Streamlabs, which takes less of a cut, by the way, if you guys do want to contribute.
Craig's all about the money. That's it.
That's all
Pinned
I've
in the
ever been
comment
about.
up at the top.
Never
That's why he only talks
interested.
about the super chats.
I don't even know anything about Marvel.
If you're
So-
interested, Streamlabs link pinned up at the top and in the description box. If
There
you're
was a
interested.
time where it doesn't feel like an MCU movie. What was clear for me? Oh, Christine's watching it for the third time tonight.
Nice.
There was it's a spoiler talk. People are saying please no spoilers. It literally
It's
says
in the
spoiler talk
title.
in the title and the thumbnail too.
The whole point of why we're here.
You can't be here. Okay, if it's spoilers, so if you don't want anything spoiled for you, don't be here. This is the last place you need to be.
Black Panther kills Killmonger.
Oh yeah, it's really dark. So I think that I liked it a lot more the second time. I think it played a lot smoother for me the second time, and I did notice when I don't feel something. That's the best way I can describe when I start to not feel something, because I'm really into the first half of this movie a lot. And it's when after Wenwu shows up after Shang-Chi fights with the Death Dealer, and then they're taken back to the where's that place called?
Tao Lo.
No. Tao Lo is where the mom's from.
Yeah.
The where the Ten Rings organization is, or where Wenwu lives. All right, that home.
China.
Yeah, it goes back to China. And then after their dinner, it's around that time where it starts to feel a little too bogged down, and they're kind of just explaining stuff to me, whether it be backstory, they're just kind of saying stuff, or they're just giving exposition dumps a lot of the time. After the Wenwu dinner with everyone, which is a great scene that I really like, where they're talking about like with Awkwafina, Katie, and like what her real Chinese name is and all that. Like I'm enjoying all that information. But then it's like they get thrown into the jail, and then Ben Kingsley's there all of a sudden, and it's like, oh, how are we going to get to Ta Lo? Well, fortunately, Ben Kingsley has this little guy who would know. How are we going to get out of jail? Bam, right away. Super easy, barely an inconvenience. The sister's like, I know the way out of the tunnels. And then it's like, yeah, it's a little bit funny with the whole like Planet of the Apes bit that they were doing. I think there's a funny moment, but then I don't know, there was something about when they finally get to Ta Lo where I'm not really feeling much. I got excited when Michelle Yeoh first shows up, but then Michelle Yeoh I don't feel like we really got to know her as a person or a character. She just kind of becomes another exposition character like right away.
But that's the beauty of Michelle Yeoh though, is that she can just show up and deliver lines and it works. For me.
Yeah, no, I think she works. I think she's great. I mean, it's Michelle Yeoh. She's good.
Yeah.
But I was kind of I was not really feeling much. That's all I'm going to say is like, it's not that I don't like, it's like I feel like they could have done all that same stuff, but just a bit of a different execution to still have the emotional undertones going on, as opposed to I've just been digesting information for like 20 to 30 minutes straight now,
right? Versus
actually feeling true emotional investment in what's going on.
Right, I get it. You hate Michelle Yeoh. I understand.
That's the problem, yeah. But then when it goes back to the flashbacks, when you see the truth of the mom and like how she died that night, and how Shang-Chi was there and witnessed his mom being killed. When it goes back to that's when I got really pulled back into the movie again. So there's really just like I think that 20 to 30 minute chunk kind of overshadowed some of my first experience. But the second time around, I wasn't as bothered by it, I would say.
Me neither.
Yeah, because I would say that the most of the movie I really do enjoy a lot.
Yeah. For me, the second time around, I didn't notice any slowdown actually at all. Because whatever was slowing down for me in the first experience, I didn't feel that whatsoever. It actually moved along. And I think it's because of what John said, which is I knew what to expect, so I just had a lot more fun with it. I was able to pay attention to things I didn't pay attention to the first time around. I didn't even notice, like, because you kept saying how much you love the music, and I kept hearing that a lot. I didn't even notice the music the first time around, to be honest with you. I got to pay attention to it this time, and I actually appreciated Ben Kingsley way more this time than I did the first time, because I thought he was just a major distraction the first time.
Right.
But because I knew he was coming, I got to enjoy his presence more.
Well, and in the second viewing, it was like every time I would be like, I'm starting to feel the pace or the runtime, then he would show back up with some levity at like just the right
Exactly.
time.
Yeah.
So, I feel like that was it for me. Is the second time there were moments where I could feel like this movie has so much to do, and half of me is like, great job at, like, there's so many really short scenes, there's a lot of information to get out, and for what those really short scenes are, I think they're handled really well with a lot of poise.
Sure.
But, and I feel like this is going to become my new Marvel movie complaint, is just like there's so much it has to squeeze into this amount of time that it is like a thick movie that at times it does feel like, oh man, I'm a little overwhelmed and I want a scene to go on for a little longer or something. But like, one of my biggest complaints the first time was like, in the third act it's like this kaiju movie takes over, and I didn't feel that way the second time actually.
I still felt that, but less.
Okay.
Yeah, it just moved along a lot quicker the second time, because like you had a sense as to what was coming.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, it's like I think you kind of got two movies slapped into one here. You got the first movie, which is about Shang-Chi trying to escape from his past, and then his father's coming for him, and then the second half is like Wenwu's movie. Wenwu wants to go to Ta Lo, and then he feels like his wife is calling back to him from the dead, so it's war with Ta Lo all of a sudden. Yeah. It's like two different movies slapped into one, and I prefer that first half, but that's not to say there's parts in the second half that I really do enjoy a lot. Like even with the dragon stuff and like the mega soul sucker, I was like, I feel like this movie maybe didn't need that, but it's still so cool to look at. It was one of those things. And usually, like, being so cool to look at doesn't eliminate a criticism for me. And not that it fully eliminates it, but it actually softens it more to the point where I liked it more the second time around because of that moment.
Do you want to say something?
Oh, and I just thought
My
the
birthday was good, Maria. Thank you.
I thought that bolstered also too, like, because we have certain characters where people have debated, like, what did they bring into the Avengers really? Like, I thought having the kaiju stuff at the end and having, especially the way Shang-Chi is, like, running along the back of it and, like, doing all this stuff, like, it helps to elevate him above, like, okay, he's got all the martial arts mastery and can hang when, like, supernatural craziness goes down,
Right. One of my complaints when I watched it was that the first half was so amazing, and then the second half loses a lot of that, like, cool martial arts.
It's not as focused.
It's not. Well, it's not as focused, but like I felt like it lost a lot of that martial arts in the second half. The first time I watched it, watching it this time, I got to pay attention to more, fine details from the fight scenes in the latter half, especially between Shang-Chi and his father, and I got to appreciate it more. I still came out going, "Oh, I wish it was longer. I wish it was more emphasized. I wish there was like a battle with the dragon with them in the rings, something like that, where you see the father turn to the good side and actually try to fight, kind of like." I hate to reference this, but Kylo Ren at the end of Star Wars, like I see him turn and fight for good before he gets taken out by the dragon.
Yeah. That
That would have been dope. But it's like the moment he turns, like that moment he has that switch, he's out, which is kind of frustrating. It felt like a lost opportunity.
That's a common thing. Even Cosmic Wonder said that he thought that there should have been more of an extra beat with Wen Wu before he died, but I personally really, both times I've seen it, I'm like, no, I kind of prefer, like what you just said is pretty much what Warren said too. And I'm like, no, I actually don't mind it in that moment because this guy is just, he's descended so far. He's gotten so, and then I think in that moment he realized, like, one thing I love about that fight with Shang-Chi, I'm reading all the comments. I'm doing the thing where we're talking. I'm reading everyone's comments in the stream.
Yeah.
And I'm aware there's super chats coming in, so we're going to get to all that. We can't go too deep dive because we're going to overshadow some questions that have been coming in.
Right.
But one thing that I actually didn't notice until the second time around was, like, I love that first fight between Shang-Chi's mom and Wen Wu in the very beginning, how they're, like, falling in love with each other over the course of this fight.
Yeah.
And then in the fight with Wen Wu and Shang-Chi, I didn't even notice it until the second time, was when he is using, like, more of his mother's technique, Shang-Chi. They do a mirror shot from the first fight with the mom.
Yeah.
And then it's like that where you could see Wen Wu seeing his wife and his son. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I think in that moment when he is consumed by the mega soul sucker, it's all visual with his eyes. I guess I pick up on all the body language of what's going on underneath. Is like he realizes after that mega soul sucker comes out, he even saves Shang-Chi from getting killed by him, and then he lets his body be absorbed. And the whole time he was like, maybe my son can earn the 10 rings. That's a big part of what Wen Wu wants to do. So he relinquishes the power and allows himself to die.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that was powerful. Yeah. I don't think he needed an extra beat. A lot of people do, though. A lot of people do, and I just don't.
Yeah. I think it needed it for the plot, for the story. I think it needed that extra moment.
See, that's where I disagree. That's where I actually would disagree with you, though, because I feel like it does achieve what it needs to for the plot in the story, in that he looks at Shang-Chi and recognizes, oh, wow. Yeah, I was wrong on this one, and you were absolutely right. And in that split second, all that character stuff came back for me.
I got more emotional the second time.
I liked it a lot. I did. I pretty much I preferred it the second time I watched it a lot more. No, you see Dreamline in the chat saying Katie sucks. Sorry, but not sorry. Katie seems to be a lot of people. Most of the people in this chat have been saying they really like Katie a lot. I was kind of worried she might be
Awkwafina.
I thought she might. Yeah, Awkwafina.
I loved Awkwafina.
I thought she might be Chris Tucker in Rush Hour 3.
I liked her.
That was my concern, but she wasn't. She was great.
For me, like Tony Leung and Awkwafina were the standout for me.
Absolutely.
And that was on the first viewing. On the second viewing, I appreciated both of them even more, which I didn't know was possible. Like getting to focus in on Awkwafina's expressions and seeing her face. Also, like I think the theater you took us to was a better projection than where we saw it the first time.
Dolby Cinema, AMC.
And so I really got to hone in on Awkwafina's face and her expressions, every little nuance. There were some parts where I was like, oh, that's a little bit much.
Yeah.
But overall, I thought she had a great presence.
I never thought she went overboard.
No,
I thought she was great.
And even the arrow thing I thought played better the second time for me.
Yeah,
I liked that the first and the second time. I thought it was fine. I thought it was fine.
I thought it was fine only because it's not the crippling blow. It just helps out, and it's like she spends so much time waiting for the right shot that I'm like, okay.
They've established that she can drive cars really well. Surely she can shoot an arrow at a dragon.
Archer is the same
exact same thing.
Out of everyone in the village, only Katie was
Yeah.
the one who could fire the arrow.
Aim a car, aim an arrow. What's the
That is
diff?
suspect, yeah. It's not perfect,
Yeah.
but I liked it better.
But here's the theory, like Maddie's pointing out in the chat right now, and then we'll hop onto some of the super chats in a second. Let's see here. Katie's the granddaughter of the gang leader who killed Shang's mother. Willing to bet is confirmed in the sequel. I'm not sure. I mean,
I did wonder about that, actually.
They invented quite a few characters for this movie. Like this story is very different than Shang-Chi's actual origin in the comics.
Well,
that's for
just
sure.
so I have clarification on what was just said, the guy that Shang-Chi kills,
Yeah.
who killed his mom, is connected to Awkwafina's character.
Maybe
Potentially.
I'm not sure. I'm not.
I thought they were going to reveal that in the movie, and it just never came up.
I feel like in the sequel, the person who Shang-Chi killed is probably, I don't know if he's actually dead or not. I don't know. For some, I feel like they might Black Widow it a little bit.
Thought he was dead.
He comes back as Fu Manchu in the sequel.
Yeah, and then
Fing Fang Foom.
and then Shang-Chi doesn't have to feel guilty about killing him anymore. It's perfect.
Let's see here.
Good retcon.
What did you think about? What did you think about them not showing that scene where Shang-Chi kills him?
I think it would have been too much because we need to sell toys. I thought they pussied out a little bit there.
We
Yeah.
absolutely remember you, Jenna, and the stars.
They're saying the audio is really off. The guy in the middle mic is way louder.
All right.
John, do your adjustments, my friend.
What if I talk like this the
Adjusting.
entire
We're
time?
gonna
It's
do
like
our adjustments, and
ASMR.
we're gonna hop into some
How you doing,
chats.
everybody?
It's coming to Disney
What's
Plus
going
in
on?
I think 40 days exactly.
How's everybody feeling out there?
All right.
I don't know why y'all hanging out if you haven't seen the movie yet. It's a spoiler talk.
We're just adjusting the audio a little bit. Who is Josh?
Who is here?
Romeo
Try it now.
Must Die is better. Hell no.
Try it
I've never warmed up to that movie. Hey Jenna,
Which
because-
movie have you not warmed up to?
Romeo Must Die. Can never get on board with it.
Try it now, Anthony.
Hey there. Hello. How's everybody doing? I'm talking at a normal voice and just enjoying my time here with my bro and his bro.
I mean, no, Zhang Li and Shang-Chi are connected to the dragon. I think the movie makes that really clear. That
Yeah.
makes it really clear.
Holy shit,
Our
two
dragon.
Gregs.
All right, cool. Audio is fine. All right. All right, guys. Let's move on to some of these super chats. Thank you guys so much for being here.
All right.
I did like the rings. You know what's funny? The last thing we really talk about are the rings. I thought the rings were cool. I thought what kind of surprised, what I think we're going to learn more with the rings themselves is that, you know how in the comics, the rings do have individual powers, whereas here they all kind of seem to, it's a little bit ambiguous what exactly they do, but they all have some type of energy force thing going on, but they're all similar, the rings. I think maybe as the rings get more understood and unlocked, we're going to see that there are more individual powers within them. But I thought overall they were used really cool. They're not my favorite part of the fights, but I thought they were used to great effect. And I liked when Shang-Chi uses it to destroy the Mega Soul Sucker by putting it inside and then lifting it out. I did enjoy that.
That was cool looking, but I still really wanted him to punch it. I just wanted to see him punch it, like
Yeah.
Goku style, just and then punch it, like right in the kisser.
So, guys in the chat, where would you rank this movie in the Marvel MCU? What would top 10, 10 to 20?
Definitely the top
Comment
10.
with your complete
Yeah,
23
put
film
all the
ranking.
list, the entire list in there.
Comment your completed rankings now.
It's definitely up there. I love watching the fight scenes in the first half.
Yeah.
I think they're so cool. That bus fight made me appreciate Simu Liu's. I messed up his name. Simu Liu.
Simu Liu.
Shang-Chi. I appreciated the actor's ability to replicate Jackie Chan's movement in moving through the bus and stuff like that, especially that moment when he falls into the driver's seat. It was just so graceful. I'm like, dang, it looks so damn good.
Oh yeah, the way he's jumping up and through the handbars and stuff.
Yep.
We got the super chats up. It is time. We got to move it along.
But everyone in the
Fasty.
chat's been saying top 10. 99% of people have been saying top 10. All right, who's the first one that we got today? Thank
Fasty.
you. Thank you so much for contributing to the super chats, by the way.
Fasty
Achara said
donates-
the audio was fine when she was here at the stream, so I don't know that one person was
Top
complaining
2,
about.
someone said. All right,
Well-
who's the first person we got?
Fasty donates a moment of silence. Thank you, Fasty.
Thank
Just
you,
to start
Fasty.
us off.
Moment of silence.
Miles, that's what those are now. Miles Dorsey. How's it going, Miles Dorsey? Thank you very much for your generosity and kindness. My favorite part was Shang exploding the dragon and the post-credit scene. I'm guessing She-Hulk will explain why Bruce is Bruce, and happy belated birthday.
Thank you, Miles. I really appreciate that.
He's got stuff all over his wrists. He's got like a thing with the green light on it, on the other side where he doesn't have a sling on. Some technologicals keeping Bruce in stasis.
Are you talking about Bruce Banner specifically?
Yeah. I was looking at his wrists the second time.
Well, I believe Emil Blonsky, Abomination, is supposed to show up in the She-Hulk series. And if I'm understanding correctly, the director did say that one of the mandatory things required by Marvel was to include the Wong versus Abomination thing, which makes sense. I thought it works well because when you're going into Xialing's world, you're like, okay, all right, yeah, she's got fighting going on, so sure, we could have this like fun little Easter egg here and have cameo appearance of Abomination versus Wong. But what struck me as a bit odd was that Abomination never turned back into Emil Blonsky, even though Wong does call him Emil at one point. So it's like, okay, clearly has a connection to him. So it's kind of interesting to me that Hulk found some way, maybe through magic, connecting with Wong, some type of sorcery, where he was able to go back from being Hulk into Bruce Banner. But maybe Abomination's stuck in this form?
Maybe it's a budgetary thing.
That it's cheaper to,
Yeah,
but
Hulk.
Tim,
to have Hulk is just regular Bruce Banner instead of Hulk.
No, I don't think they would. I think it was such a big part of the plot for Avengers Endgame that they would have that Hulk was stuck in that form, or he found a way to fuse into that form. So he must have made some choice to go back to that form.
I think Tim Roth is the one who played Abomination, right?
Yeah.
Apparently, he really showed up for Shang-Chi to do his role in that.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I thought, like, why didn't he ever go back into Emil Blonsky form? And it looked like when he brought, when after he does the sling ring Wong, and then you see behind, it didn't look like it was back to the Sanctum Sanctorum. It looked like it was like at the
Some
raft
people,
or something.
Yeah, in the chat have been saying the raft too. So
It looked like the raft.
Maybe
Yeah.
he's borrowing him and like leaving a projection fake Abomination just to fool any security.
Yeah. And also, Bruce Banner's aged like 25 years.
I know.
He's like so much older.
It takes a lot.
Like,
of,
damn,
he's
so stressed. He's so stressed, you know?
he's still recovering.
That snap took a lot out of him.
Shouts to Scrapzilla54 said the removal redressing of the jacket was awesome. Big Meals on Wheels vibe.
Hell yeah.
Great movie to name.
Wait,
It's
Which part?
actually
Which part?
Wheels on Meals.
Hold on, which part?
The removal and redressing of the jacket in the bus fight.
I don't remember
When he
that in
pulled
Wheels
his
on
jacket
Meals.
off.
I don't remember that in Wheels on Meals.
I remember it in a bunch of Jackie Chan movies.
Yeah,
That's what I
in general, it's a very Jackie Chan thing, but like I don't remember it specifically in Wheels on Meals. I'd have to go back and watch
It's
it.
actually Wheels on Meals because in China they were saying that, or Hong Kong, they were saying that movies that start with M don't do well, so they change it to Wheels
That's
on
a
Meals.
true story.
Is
That's
awesome.
that is a very that's a very accurate reason.
Fun
Actually,
fact.
I looked that up too.
That's why there's not a Mr. and Mrs. Smith too. Freddie Ruger. Freddie Ruger. Hey guys, I watched the movie yesterday, and I got to tell you, it's my third favorite behind Endgame and Infinity War now.
I wouldn't put it that high for me. I'm probably like, if I were to guess without going through all the movies, I'd say it's somewhere between 5 through 10 for me, but not top 5. I wouldn't say it's top 5.
It might be number 5,
Yeah.
but yeah, I would say 5 through 10 is a safe place. to
Endgame's
put
still
it.
definitely my favorite.
Really?
Thanks for stopping by, Joshua. Yeah, I'd say Endgame's still definitely my favorite. But I liked it. I mean, there's some people who love this so much. John Campia's watched it 6 times, which is a lot.
Shang-Chi?
That's a lot.
Yeah.
of viewings.
Warren's like, it's not. It's not. Wait, Dream Lion say, thanks for losing my shit on these opinions. What the hell does that mean?
It's like freaking out every time you drop an opinion, just like, oh, new ideas.
What?
I don't know. It didn't seem overtly bad, so I was like, maybe this guy just loves your opinions, and every time you put out an opinion,
overpraising it, and I don't feel like I feel like I'm pretty fair when it comes to talking about this movie. What were we just saying?
absolutely. John
Your favorite
Campia loves it
movies?
so
You were
much.
saying like
Yeah,
where you
whatever.
ranked
Yeah,
it.
it's somewhere in the
Like,
top. It's somewhere 5 through 10 for me.
Campia saw it 9 times.
And then freaking Warren's like, it's not just one of the best Marvel movies. It's one of the best movies ever. And there are a lot of people who are so in love with this, and I'm so happy that people are receiving it this well. But for me, I don't know. It's like somewhere between 5 through 10. I wouldn't say it's one of my favorite movies of all time, but I would say it's in the top 5 through 10 for Marvel.
You know what it might be is that you and I grew up with those kinds of movies, and so maybe
Yeah, I
it's
think
like
so.
we've been watching martial arts like nonstop since we were little kids. So that might have an effect on our level of appreciation for it. We're like, it's cool, like
Yeah, because we could see what it's like referencing. And
Yeah.
it works on that nostalgic factor for us.
yeah, exactly.
yeah.
So yeah, that's what I would say.
Definitely, like it might be number 5 for me. But
Hey, Venom has another new release date. Thanks, Christian
No
Gonzalez.
shit.
Thanks for the heads up.
Why?
Josh Wren.
They're like, Shang-Chi didn't break 200 million opening weekend. We gotta push this.
I love One Move versus Zhang Li showing the story and fight.
Josh Wren, thank you, sir.
I love that the story of that fight is my favorite.
Yeah.
It's not my favorite fight in the movie, but the story of it is so good because that is some of my favorite visual storytelling within that film. We're a movie that has a lot of very overt world building and character moments where they're like kind of saying everything. That fight itself, I think everyone who watches that first fight, you're like, oh damn, they're falling for each other. Like you could just in this one fight, you're watching because they set it up so well where Wenwu has been conquering for decades or centuries by this point. He's just been kicking ass left and right. Nothing is a challenge for him. So of course he's gonna fall in love with the one woman who can kick his ass.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
like, and it's such a good story of the fight.
When that fight showed up, I appreciated it even again, like just as much as I did the first time. The thing that I realized I really didn't want was as that the narrative exposition as much. I know that they had to do that to get you up to speed, but it's when she said, "That's when the first time I met your father." I wish that line came at the end of the fight instead of the beginning of the fight because you already know what's going to happen in the fight.
Didn't it come at the end of the fight?
No, it came at the.
I thought it said that's when I met your father, and then it cuts to her holding the baby.
I don't know.
I'm pretty
I
sure
just
that's
wish
how it
that
went.
dialogue wasn't in there at all. Just like have me have the fight, and then
Okay.
come in with the narration and all that stuff, or just have less of it. But that fight, to me, was up on par with what you got from Yuen Wu-ping, like in Crouching Tiger and stuff like that. I
Right.
thought it was really, really well done because you see a lot of imitators that never measure up to, like, okay, La La Land, for instance, is an imitation of like Hollywood films of yester,
Sure,
right?
sure.
But it doesn't measure up to that. Whereas this totally measures up to Crouching Tiger and all that stuff
Sure,
in Hong
sure.
Kong,
That's
in my
true.
opinion. So definitely up there as one of my favorite fight scenes from American films in general.
All right, John, take away the next one. Thank you, Josh Wren.
All right, Kwang Min. I am Burmese.
Oh, really
not-
quick. So sorry. Okay, Venom moved to October 1st.
Yes,
according to the chat.
I just
I
verified
thought
this.
I got pushed later. All right. Okay, cool. Good to know.
All
Good
the
to know.
headlines are like Shang-Chi's big success. Venom moves up.
There
2
you go. I
weeks.
told you everything was depending on this movie. I'm not the
Yeah.
only one who said that. Most people did. All right, so take it away, John.
Variants be damned.
Kwang Min. I am Burmese, not Chinese, but I am happy for my Asian brothers and sisters making it to the big superhero movie. But Jackie Chan and Jet Li are still my childhood heroes.
Yeah.
We got to see them get into the MCU next.
I would love to see Jackie Chan join this. Jet Li can't fight anymore.
Yeah.
Did you notice Michelle Yeoh was replaced sometimes?
Sometimes it looked like she had a stunt double, or
Yeah.
the lighting was revealing that she's really in her 60s.
Yeah. Well, she's 59. Yeah, she's 59 years old, so they had to do a face replacement
Yeah.
on the stunt double, but like she still held her own for the most part.
I mean, yeah, on the shots where it's clearly her, she can still move really well.
Yeah.
yeah. I thought she was great. I mean, we watched a lot of Michelle Yeoh when we were younger. Heroic Trio.
That's
What
right.
was the sequel to that? The R word?
I
What's the sequel?
can't remember.
Which
I didn't
movie-
like the sequel as much.
Which
but-
movie with Jackie Chan where she did that crazy motorcycle stunt?
Super Cop.
Police Story 3.
Meet the Cop who can't be stopped.
Thank you, Kwang.
Thank you. And we got next Rhythmsy Games.
I saw it yesterday with my brother, and I absolutely loved it. I'll probably go again tomorrow with my friend, and since she wanted to see it as well, working on uploading my review soon as on my film channel.
Can't wait to see that review, man.
Hells yeah. Keep it up. Keep up the good work, Rhythmsy.
This is one of those movies where people are like, even for me, I was like, I'm taking my mom. Mom has to watch it.
Did she
She's
like it?
Asian.
She liked
She
it,
liked
right?
it a lot.
Yeah.
Mom liked it a lot. My mom's usually like, it's okay. That's usually her response to every movie. But
She didn't like it as much as our sister, though.
but when I watched it, after it was done, I was like, "Did you like it?" And she's like, "Yeah." She looked really happy with the movie, and it was that effect of like, "It's because you're fucking Asian, mom." It's 'cause you're Asian. Look, everyone's Asian here.
I see myself.
Now you know how I feel at most movies. Such
I like it.
pride.
Look at all that
Such
whiteness
pride.
on screen.
Look at us. Look at us killing the game. Achieving the annoying ranter. Thank you
Hey,
so
buddy.
much, annoying ranter. How much does a new Asian American Iron Fist team up with Shang-Chi would slap? A lot, in my opinion. A new Asian American Iron Fist teaming up with Shang-Chi. Would that slap? Do you guys think that would be a fire move?
Look, they got to replace Finn Jones. At like,
You
Was he
never-
Caucasian in the comics?
Yes.
yeah, Finn
well,
Jones
yeah.
is. I think
Finn Jones is Caucasian in the comics.
You could get a good white guy to do Finn. Like it doesn't need to be Asian. Oh,
Scott Adkins.
Okay, fucking the stunt coordinator, second unit director on this is Brad Allen, who's a white dude who was on Jackie Chan's stunt team. So, right, he was on his actual stunt team.
Yes.
Right? Yeah.
Yes.
And he's an amazing martial artist, and he was one of the few who, he's like the only white guy who was ever on Jackie Chan's stunt
That's
team.
true. Yeah. Yes.
And
Australian, also, to be fair. Yeah.
that's true. Yeah. So I think that.
What does that have to do with anything?
Because they're the craziest white people.
But so yeah, I mean, I guess as cool as it would be to see an Asian American take up the mantle of Iron Fist in like a movie or something like that, I think it's not impossible to find a dude who because Simu Liu was he was trained by Andy Lee from Martial Club. That I didn't know. We didn't know this until we interviewed
I had
him.
no idea.
I thought he was a real fighter, but there's been
Whoa.
hours and hours for months on. That's what Brad Allen brought in. Andy Lee. Andy Lee trained him and also became Death Dealer in the movie and also helped coordinate. So Simu Lee,
that's dope.
because Simu has a background in parkour but not in martial arts, so he still had to train him how to move. So it was hours
How
and
to
hours.
flex,
Point
yeah.
being is, I thought Simu was a real martial artist.
Yeah, he's
because
convincing.
He moved so well that not one part of me was like, this guy was clearly training for. Like he moves flawlessly to the point where I didn't think it was. I didn't think like, oh, he had to be trained. I thought they hired someone with a martial arts background for it.
I thought Death Dealer got shafted pretty hard.
Oh, he got shafted pretty hard,
I
yeah.
felt it even more the second time.
Yeah.
I'm like, damn, they really shafted
could have
him.
been a
Especially
character.
being the first to get soul sucked. Like, come on.
He made a good poster, though.
Come
Can we refresh the chat here?
Yes, actually, really quick. Faith Geddes has a great question. Who would you guys like to see Shang-Chi team up with?
Spider-Man.
Answer it in the chat.
Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
Ah,
Why not?
Yes, we are biological brothers.
Wrong.
John
Yeah.
and I have been brothers since birth.
yeah, that's right. And yes, Brad Allen has since passed. Rest in peace, Brad
Unfortunately.
Allen.
I met him once. Did I tell you that?
Yeah.
I met him once at Gymnastics Olympica. He has a very quiet demeanor and very, very nice. I freaking flipped out when I saw him. I'm like, are you Brad Allen? He's
yeah.
like, yes, I am. Very kind.
That was that was a lovely impression.
Yeah, I
You
wish
just
you had
did.
more. All right, so who else do we got here?
Francis Dionisio, thank
Super
you for the
effective.
lovely
Thank you
little
for that.
super sticker.
Never seen that before.
Sick. Thank you so much, man. That's a really generous super chat. Thank you,
Guy
dude.
throwing up a peace sign and a punch and a kick. Oh,
Super
it's animated.
effective.
Thank you.
Nice.
That's a fun little sticker. I've never seen it before.
Yeah, I hope everybody got a chance to enjoy.
I think they should bring back Death Dealer or flesh him out in some way again, because I mean,
Someone
he
can do some voodoo to
he
bring
seemed
his soul back.
It seemed like they were building for some real personal showdown with him, and then it never went there.
yeah.
Yeah.
Do you remember Brad Pitt? I mean, not Brad Pitt, but Quentin Tarantino's explanation of why Brad Pitt was able to beat Bruce Lee in Once Upon a Time in
He's
Hollywood?
just trying not to kill him.
Well, no, I mean, the whole thing was establishing that that's how badass Brad Pitt's character was, right? And so I thought maybe likewise here, it's to show how, like, frightening these soul suckers are. It's like they took out Death Dealer.
Yeah.
I thought that was the point, but I didn't like it.
That's fair.
You know.
I'm sorry.
You understand the comparison?
Yeah, totally.
Okay.
He's Bruce Lee
Okay.
and
Yeah.
Once Upon a Time.
Yeah.
The Incredible. Thank you, The Incredible. Did you see the IMAX version of No Way Home? Sure, as the guy's not Matt Murdock. Charlie Cox was right. Charlie Cox was right. Charlie Cox
Cox is always right.
Charlie Cox had a theory of, I'm not sure that's me.
I don't think that's me, you guys.
I'm going to make a call. Yeah.
I'm gonna drop an Easter egg video.
You didn't see his trailer reaction?
Charlie Cox was telling the truth. Yeah.
Charlie Cox is a YouTuber now.
I don't know. It was weird to me because when I saw that image that was going around, I was like, still kind of looks like, but I guess it's not.
His body just looked too big.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Well, what threw me for
How do you think that guy feels?
being scrutinized for his torso and his hairy arms.
Like, he must feel so awful.
And how does
poor
Charlie
guy.
Cox feel being known for the hairy
that poor guy. All right, thank you, The Incredible.
Thank you,
yeah,
Incredible.
yeah, we noticed.
Jay Sawyer. Shang-Chi kind of reminded me of a live-action Avatar, The Last Airbender. Netflix. Take notes.
I think that's a very apt comparison. 2 episodes away from finishing the show, and yeah, one of the very first things I ever said when watching this, and I feel like it's even more apparent the second time around, is that it really moves like a live-action anime in a lot of ways, especially with the way they handle flashbacks. Like one prime example that felt like anime was when Xialing and Shang-Chi are fighting each other in the ring, and then before Xialing delivers her like final blow to his face where he gets knocked out in slow motion, she goes to go to a flashback, and I'm like, that's so anime.
That's right. No, you're
Yeah,
right. You're
yeah.
absolutely right. I didn't
Yeah.
even think about that.
Yeah, it's very anime, that movie.
The dragon was definitely waterbending.
Yeah.
He's waterbending the shit out of that super soul sucker.
Absolutely.
Cha.
That guy's love handles debunked that Charlie Cox theory. Ain't that true, Remy Fox? Cam K. John, why don't you read this one, man?
With the rings, the shield, and the hammer, I think we can all agree that weapons that return to the user are friggin' awesome.
Oh, like the boomerang
I
weapons?
agree.
Yeah.
I agree with you
Captain
about the rings, by the
Boomerangs.
way. I thought the way they did the rings was pretty dope in terms of
Yeah.
integrating into the fight. I just wish they did even more of it, of integrating the rings into like actual fight choreography, the way they were doing in the final showdown between Shang-Chi and his father.
That's fair.
You know,
I mean, I thought for the most part they were still used really well. It's weird how it's called in the Legend of the Ten Rings, but I like how the way they use the rings. Actually, the best comparison is Lord of the Rings. Of this, like it becomes like an addiction for Wenwu. Of like in order for him to feel free and have a happier life, he relinquishes the rings. Then when he's thrusted back into darkness, he goes back to the thing he copes with, the rings, to exact revenge. And then even Shang-Chi, when he's having his showdown with Wenwu, he's like, she died. You're supposed to be there for us, but you chose those damn rings over us, you know? So it is like the Lord of the Rings for him as this like addiction for him.
Yeah,
So I thought like
poison.
the emotional context of the rings was cool rather than trying to do a whole movie about deciphering what they are. Because that's what I thought was interesting about the post-credit scene. Was it started asking the questions I hadn't even thought of when I was watching the movie.
Yeah.
Of like, oh yeah, what are these things? Where do they come from? Why are they here? Like my mind never even went there with the movie because I was so pulled into the emotion around it. Was
the
was
adventure.
Really good. The adventure.
Now
yeah.
you got me excited about an MCU crossover with Lord of the Rings. How dope would that be?
That would be awesome.
That would be fantastic.
Frodo's like, I just got rid of this one.
That's what they
10
wanted.
more.
That's what they wanted Thor to be originally. Originally, that's what they wanted from Thor. And Dr. Drake Ramore, I hope that sheds some light on maybe why some of the powers of the rings might have been changed. I think it also, after Endgame and everybody having to learn like what each stone, I feel like it would almost be kind of too much and too repetitive to be like, learn the powers of these 10 mystical like. For a re-entry like this, I feel like it's quite appropriate.
Voiton. How Dragon Ball is it? Does it top Man of Steel for power levels?
I don't know if it tops
No.
Man of Steel. Man of Steel,
I think the Dragon-
like, raised hell.
Yeah.
I mean, Man of Steel's fight scenes definitely felt more Dragon Ball-esque, in my opinion, except for the Kamehameha thing.
Yeah, I would.
Yeah.
I would agree.
Oh yeah, because they're like flying in the air and thrashing and.
Well,
But
and
in this
everything.
movie, they're not really doing that in this. It's
And-
like fluid.
Yeah, nothing feels overpowered.
I
in
love
Shang-Chi.
the little Mario jump though with the rings. I think that shit is
That's
so
awesome.
dope. With
That's awesome. Yeah.
And then when what's his name? The Shang-Chi's father. I've never tried to say his name.
Wenwu.
Wenwu, but like when he in the flashback sequence kills the guy with the ring like a gun. I always think that's dope every time I see it.
That's actually my favorite scene in the movie.
Oh yeah.
That flashback is my favorite scene in the whole movie. That became the defining moment for why I love. Like I was already like, man, he might be my favorite villain. But then,
Does it remind you of your childhood?
yeah, when Dad took revenge for those people that killed Mom.
Oh, no wonder she doesn't like many movies.
What I love about that scene when Wenwu murders them in front of him, he immediately goes back into sympathetic father to Shang-Chi. He's like, you know, what's the blood exchange line?
A blood debt must be paid with blood.
A blood debt must be played, and he's just like talking so like caring and sympathetic towards the child. Like, hey, we gotta do this together because we're father and son. You know, I'm gonna show you the way. Like, I love how like fucked up it is what he just did. Murders this guy right in front of him, then instantly goes into like caring for his kid right in front of him, showing, thinking he's really in the right. So I thought that was really cool.
Total air childhood.
Yeah.
Bipolarism.
It's not the same thing as like Thanos and Gamora, where Thanos seems to have like Thanos. I'm like, he's always coming across a little messed up. Whereas Wenwu in that moment, I'm like, oh yeah, I could totally see how a kid would be like. My dad still loves me and cares about me.
Well, the thing about Wenwu is Wenwu's like coming from a very genuine place.
Yeah, it's all from love.
and it feels very human.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's what works about it.
100%.
Cam K.
Cam K.
We're taking turns. We're just going this rotation reading chat. So you went last time?
Yes.
Cam K, thank you. Trevor Slattery's monkey monologue is an easily top 5 MCU joke for me. I want a Trevor, Katie, Jimmy Woo, and Lewis spinoff show like yesterday. You know what I'll say that I thought this does surprisingly well that kind of mirrors the trajectory of the comics? Trevor Slattery introduced in Iron Man 3, right, as the Mandarin originally. People were pissed off about that twist. It is an appropriation of a character. They acknowledge that in this movie, and then they redo the Mandarin with Wenwu. And I'm like, that's kind of like what they did in the comics. They did Fu Manchu. It was like a Fu Manchu, essentially. Eventually, people were like, this is fucked up. We shouldn't be doing this. We need to change the Mandarin around and do it right because the way America's handling this is not cool. Yep. And that's kind of like what they did with Trevor Slattery, where he was hated, but then they managed to make it work where it kind of mirrors what happened with the comics.
At least he was Asian, though. Ben Kingsley's half Indian, so...
Is he?
Yes.
Oh.
That's why he could play Gandhi.
Exactly.
That's why he could be Mandarin.
Marianne Johnson has a theory in the chat, in the live chat, says, I think that beacon was being sent to Rama Tut, and those are Kang's rings from the future. Which I could see some kind of weird tie-in there. Also, Raghu Siddharaman, the flashbacks to teenage Shang-Chi's training felt similar to 300. That's a good call.
Yeah, that's very true.
And we are on episode 18 of Brooklyn Nine-Nine Film Nerds. Just went up
I'm going to watch The Many
yesterday.
Saints in Newark. I'm a big Sopranos fan.
I'm going to watch The Sopranos for the first time. Oh, we got some Streamlabs.
Cool.
Look out. Horror Cage is number 1.
John, you go. Take this one.
All right.
Thank you, Horror Cage.
I really enjoyed it. I love the beautiful world they built, especially Ta Lo. Simu Liu is such a great leading man, and I think he did an incredible job in this movie. Looking forward to seeing him in future MCU projects.
You really like Simu Liu.
I think he's incredibly charming.
Okay.
And he has some great dramatic scenes. There were parts of his performance that I never thought he was bad. I would never say that. There were times where I would feel like the weight of his past wasn't always felt in his performance.
Yeah, it wasn't always present.
Like sometimes it felt a little bit like they were leaning too much into the charm and levity of this modern day portrayal of Shang-Chi. And sometimes the weight, I'm like, but this guy was like, he didn't grow up in like, this guy has like at least 14 years of the most fucked up, isolated road press life ever.
Right.
And he's just so like charming. And I know he's been living in the States, they said, for like 10 to 15 years by this point, right? And so I get it. Still, though, it was a kind of thing where I'm really into body language. I'm really into what a performer brings with like their past being inhabited. I feel like Tony Leung really brings that to the role.
Yes.
But there were times where with Simu Liu, I was like, is he just a little too cool? Is he just a little too, charming? Where sometimes I couldn't feel, unless the scene was directly about it, then he would bring it for sure. Like, I love his monologue to Katie when he's talking about how he killed the actual guy. Like, I really like that scene, but there was a lot in the performance where sometimes it felt a little too light, but that would be, it would be a complete lie if I said I wasn't always charmed by his performance. I can't say that.
I definitely felt that monologue more the second time around. The first time I didn't really connect with it. The second time, again, I think it had to do with how we were watching it. I wish Bill Pope got closer on his face so we could see his eyes better, because he had tears in his eyes.
He did.
And I didn't like really fully feel that the first time I watched it. I felt it more the second time. But I like him in this performance, but there was nothing about this film that made me go, I want to see way more of this dude in like 1,000 other movies. Well, it's just like I enjoyed him in this, and I am looking forward to seeing him more in the MCU, but there was nothing that captivated me about him yet that makes me go, I got to see him in every single movie he puts out.
I think it's part of that thing you get that position you get put into. I think when you become the lead of one of these movies is to like half your dialogue then becomes like prompting the plot to happen and learning.
Sure.
So there are a lot of moments where I was noticing the second time around, especially, it's like, oh, if they maybe had given him like when the moment calls for it and breathes in what is written there, I think he does a great job with it. And sometimes I'm like, maybe somebody else might have elevated further those scenes where it's like, tell me more. Where are we going? What's going on?
It definitely suffers from over exposition.
I mean, I think he really carries the movie in the first half a lot.
Absolutely.
I think it's him carrying it, and I think in the finale he's got some great moments with his dad or dad.
Yeah, but for me it was the opposite. I felt like his father carried it, and so did Awkwafina more than him. For me.
Kind of.
It's like he showed up to do the cool action, and then Awkwafina and Tony Leung carried the film otherwise.
I don't know, man. When he first has that first bus fight,
that's what I'm saying. The action.
But the reason the bus fight feels so cool is because he really sold us on his personality beforehand of just like this happy-go-lucky guy who's kind of a slacker in real life. And
Yeah,
so when
yeah.
he unleashes and you see how serious he's taking it when Katie's threatened, you're like, oh, damn, who wouldn't want to be this guy?
And he really sells the personal comedic beats of that scene, like when he lands in the chair next to that one woman, or like he grabs the laptop from the other woman, you know, like
or when he lands on the bus door, he's like, please open the door.
That was funny.
There's such a big difference between saying the word please and not saying please, but how he's like keeping it polite.
yeah. Open the door, please.
That laptop thing was definitely Jackie Chan.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
the whole fight was the most Jackie Chan fight out of them all.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
I would say the one with the death dealer too, when they're like hopping around with a knife.
I got this next one.
Yep.
Julian 86.
No,
no,
Scrapzilla.
Scrapzilla.
Wow, Anthony. How
All right,
could
Scrapzilla.
you?
I'm sure we're expecting a giant screen space dragon wearing purple pants to show up at the end credit scene, but I'm willing to bet Fing Fang Foom will appear in this current phase of the MCU. When do you guys think he'll show up, and in what movie? Thanks.
Is Fin Fang Foom considered offensive or
Yes.
not? Is he?
Yes, the name is.
Okay. Because the Great Protector is not a portrayal of Fin Fang. I thought they were just renaming it because I was like, oh, they just don't want to call it Fin Fang Foom because of the name. But then you watch the movie and you're like, okay, yeah, the Great Protector is not. It's just a completely different dragon. But it would be cool to kind of get like the villainous dragon in there in some way, because I thought they did a great job with the Mega Soul Sucker, which essentially was a Leviathan, right? And it was really cool to behold. I didn't think to me it just felt like another dragon, and I think you can bring Fin Fang Foom in there, but Fin Fang Foom talks, right? If I'm not
Yes.
mistaken,
So,
yes.
yeah.
and that's where they draw the power. It depends, you know. It's like, is it necessary to bring Fin Fang Foom in? Because in the comics, Fin Fang Foom and the rings were kind of interconnected. Where here, it's like we don't even, unless that beacon it must be signaling a dragon.
Another dragon. The land of dragons is about to open up.
Well, I think they're going to explain that there is like an alien technology to it and not really a supernatural element to it. I think they're going to keep it sci-fi. I think it's going to be a while before Marvel commits to fully supernatural, but they're still going to keep us in the science fiction realm for a while.
I could see there being, like an updated version of Fin Fang Foom or something that continues having a kaiju element to these movies.
That name is
like,
definitely going to change.
It
That
seems like
name
it
will
would
not
have to.
stick.
To Fang Foom Fing.
I am not yet ending
It's
any
just-
of these jokes.
It's just going to change to the Chopsticks song.
Chickadee China.
Julian. Let's all read Julian's at the same time. 1, 2, 3.
Hi.
We have Chinese.
Hi, Mark.
We have Chinese blood in us. It's on
Yes,
my
we do.
DNA test.
Yes, we do.
You have all the blood in you from the DNA test.
I think we got all the blood.
You got everything, man.
Well,
James-
our great grandmother on mom's side is full-blooded Chinese.
Dude, see? You guys are Shang-Chi?
That's right. James Clark, second best MCU villain behind Thanos. I'll take second best. I'm glad someone's meeting me at least close to the top.
Absolutely.
It was really a love story about Shang-Chi's parents and how their love lives on in how their love lives on in their children. I think the whole movie's really about love. And I think that's a big part of why it was so effective, was because that's like the undertone of everything going on in this movie is love.
You know, that scene at the end with the lighting of the lanterns and stuff, I wish they took more time there. I know that they had to wrap the movie up as quick as possible because the bad guy was defeated, but I wish they took just a little bit more time, because the second time watching it, I noticed that Michelle Yeoh was giving it her all, like in this emotional speech. Of, you know, saying farewell to these lost souls. It's like I felt emotional, and then it cut to the next thing already. I'm like, yo, like, slow down a little bit. We lost a lot of good people.
I think that's a big part of why. I think that's a big thing that I've heard a lot of people who I even know love this movie said that they feel like there was stuff cut out of the finale, or movie parts that were kind of rushed in the editing process.
There were a couple scenes,
That's a
especially
long
on
one.
second viewing, where I was like, I bet a scene went there.
Well, it's because when you get to Talo, Michelle Yeoh's character is now introducing a whole new world of like, yeah, they're soul suckers. We're not even going to cut to the visuals. We're just going to have these statues here, and I'm going to explain all this to you right now, and that's what we're dealing with for the rest of this movie.
Yeah.
Is this thing here?
Which I thought if they had done more to make you really wonder if Wenwu is on the level or not, like if they had really played that up of like maybe he is really here, but it's so clear that it's gonna be soul suckers
This
and
cute
stuff.
Tan person's into you. God, I want to pull John. Good hair.
You're very welcome to. And Iman Ishraf says the rings are summoning King Ghidra, which that's the crossover we need. All right.
I don't know why the dragon's offensive. I asked why the dragon's offensive. I don't know much about the
Wait, in the movie?
No. Yeah, why is the Great Protector offensive to the Chinese people?
The Fing Fang Foom name is offensive, not the dragon itself.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dragons are offensive. Flev Doran. Flevy is back. Flevulous.
Hey, Flev.
Flevin.
Hit that like button. Listen to Maria Hammond in the chat.
Yeah.
Thank you if you're enjoying this.
Hi, guys.
We're
Again.
moving along. People are already complaining about their super chats not being read. We're moving.
It's okay, guys. We got more coming your
Yeah.
way. We're almost to the end of this first round of Streamlabs. Hi, guys. Flev says, again, came late into the live stream. Shang-Chi was so good. Such a great debut for a new character. The movie had such a good balance of Marvel superhero and martial arts films. At least 95% that I saw because I was late to the movie.
Oh, why you're late? How?
Flev.
Wait, what time did you walk in, man? Every scene's important. I feel like there wasn't a scene in there. Like, if I were to say cut this out, then I'd be a complete rewrite of like how I was sort of feeling conflicted about introducing the Soul Sucker part of the story. I was like, do we really need this part in here? But that would require a whole rewrite. But for the movie they told, I'm like, no, I feel like they kept every scene they needed to keep in order to tell this story. So,
Flev Doran, you missed the part with Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire, man.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
That's the thing I got to give them props for is like there are so many scenes, many of which have to be compact. And I was like, for this kind of thing, these are about as good as these scenes could possibly be. Like, well done.
Sedeskel says, get Sung Hee Lee in the next movie. Yummy. You know who that is?
that model?
Yeah, she's a Korean model. I met her once, actually. She's really nice.
Yeah, I remember her. She was on some.
She was a Playboy model.
She was a Playboy. She was on some show that I used to watch. I don't remember what. Sung Hai Lee?
Well, I think it's actually Sung Hee Lee. But
Wasn't she on like the Mortal Kombat show or something?
Hey, John, if you see anyone spamming, make sure to block them.
All right.
Purse Borg says, who hates Brie Larson? I don't care.
You know, no one hates Brie Larson.
It was weird being in the theater when both times she shows up, because when Hulk shows up, it's met with woo, woo, and then it cuts to Captain Marvel, and I'm like, no one's saying.
No one's reacting at all.
No one's making
Okay, you know what though? I watched.
Everyone's apprehensive.
I watched.
Everyone's like, do I let it know that I'm excited?
I watched. How do you say the director? Destin. The director's name.
Daniel Destin.
Daniel Destin. I watched his first.
Daniel. Whatever doesn't matter.
Destin Daniel Cretton.
Exactly. I watched his first film with Brie Larson, and that was actually a really good movie, and she did a really good job.
Which movie?
I forgot the name of it.
Short-Term 12?
Short-Term 12. That's the one. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good movie.
She did a really good job. They both did in that film.
Right.
So she's a good actress. She's just a terrible Captain Marvel.
All right.
Yeah.
That's your opinion. I think she's the best Captain Marvel.
She's the best Captain Marvel anyone could hope for.
I think Brie Larson. I enjoy her personality. Believe it or not, guys.
I do not.
Joshua Jones
I
says...
I don't really care for her portrayal in Captain Marvel, but I don't mind her like in interviews, and I don't hate her vehemently the way how everyone else seems to have an
How
issue
come she
with.
always has to go?
Yeah,
She's always got.
that's
I gotta
her-
go.
that's her gag,
I gotta
yeah.
get out of here.
That's just the way it is, man.
The bathroom's calling.
Let's see here.
Okay, Voiton.
I don't know where that beacon's come from.
Maybe she's always got like bad stomach or something.
No, we already read
Get
that
outta
one.
here.
We read that one.
All right. Trevor Slattery's monkey.
Let's go.
Monologues,
It's
top
rhythmic.
five.
Got,
You
yeah.
got rhythmic. You know what? No,
That's
That's
you,
him.
Greg.
You know what? Now that you mention it, didn't the grandma's husband die? And they made a whole deal about it at the beginning of the movie. So maybe
Wait, what's this about?
that the person who was killed was Shang-Chi. The person who Shang-Chi murdered is.
I did think about that too. Yeah. See, I thought that was the whole thing, and I thought that's how he became friends with Katie, and I thought that's what was going to be revealed.
Wait, he's living with this family as penance for killing
He doesn't live with
the
them.
father?
No, so I
He's
thought
hanging out with Katie's family
Yes.
as penance for killing her dad.
kind of like in Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Grandpa?
You know, Winter Soldier was hanging
Okay.
out with the Asian dude because he killed
Yeah,
his son.
'cause he
I thought it
killed
was
it.
the exact same thing.
I thought it was just representative of them not really believing in spiritual shit. Because there's that whole line in there of
Why
like,
can't it be both?
Because I think it's a little too much. Well, no, yeah, because that's the whole point of, especially like with Awkwafina, her journey. A lot of it is her. I don't really get what Awkwafina's arc in this movie is, to be honest.
She finds her calling
To what?
to be a fucking Avenger.
Is that what
Yes.
it is?
Yes.
Is she an Avenger?
Yes, because she had no direction for the longest time. She was just messing around.
How is she
both
an
of them.
Avenger?
Because Wong called her in. she's got something going on in her blood.
right.
I mean,
she's got something
she's
going
gonna
on.
be.
I mentioned
She's
this.
Fin Fang
I mentioned this. Yeah, exactly. She is a dragon. You saw Ryan the Last Dragon, right? So I've been reading the Eternals comic.
Crossovers.
I've been reading the Eternals comic, and there is something that happens in there where these two characters connect, and it's like, oh, it's like I've known you for a million years. We're best buds now, and it's because they did know each other for a million years because they're both Eternals, right? And so it's entirely possible that she's got some kind of connection.
Fair.
I mean, Wong made a point to say you too. You got to come in as well.
All right.
Both of you. You shut the dragon.
Well, then you're absolutely correct, Rhythmsy.
I mean, it wouldn't be the first time, right? I mean, Peter Quill. That after that dance off and whatnot, he holds everybody's hand at the end of Guardians of the Galaxy. You're like, how did he survive that? Oh, it's just because of the power of love. No, he's connected to a celestial. That's why he survived that. So it's entirely possible they do that again.
Sumandeep,
Maybe.
Bhattacharjee.
You really don't like this explanation? I loved Awkwafina.
I feel like you should just keep her human. yeah.
I thought she did a great job. Is it my turn now?
She's in the
This one?
chair. Sumandeep
Sumandeep
Bhattacharjee.
Okay, yeah. Hi guys, really enjoyed the movie. Best MCU villain.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Definitely up there.
My personal favorite. Look, is he the most threatening or the most dangerous? No, he's not. But in terms of a actor's portrayal of an MCU villain, he is hands down my favorite one.
Combined
Okay,
with
that's
what
good.
was written
Yeah.
for that character
Yeah,
too.
for me, it's Killmonger's my top favorite, and then him, and then Thanos.
But similar things that work about Killmonger work about it's that approach to the Marvel villain of like, yeah, I get this guy. I don't necessarily, I'm not on board with him necessarily, but I get it.
A lot is revealed about that personal
Yeah.
frustration.
Well, I think you just get a full arc of. You just get a full story of him, and it never felt rushed, surprisingly, of this guy who was always set out for world domination, falls in love, has a family, gives up the rings, wife is taken, goes back to the rings, goes down a darker path, pushes his children away, wants to win his children back, loses himself to the idea, falls for some type of evil deity out there that isn't real, and in turn losing everything. Like it's such a tragic story, and it's a complete story that you get to witness it all, and you feel for him.
Did you think at all? Did it cross your mind whatsoever after Shang-Chi's mother passed away or died after she was killed that
Hi, Juliana.
the bad guys never went looking for the rings in his flipping the place apart trying to find it?
Oh yeah, I mean, maybe they didn't know he didn't have them anymore.
Okay, that's all.
Maybe
just crossed my
there
mind. I'm
weren't
like,
any
they
of them left to
Because
look.
it was like right on his desk. It was like right there. Like they didn't look
Yeah.
at the place at all. Like
That's right. You say Wenwu's number one villain. I got crap on Twitter when I said that. So if anyone else says that, I'm like, yeah, we're together. Because everyone said exactly what I thought they were gonna say.
What's
Even
that?
more than Killmonger and Thanos and Loki. I'm like, guys, I need to I'll need to explain it. I'll need to explain it. So, there's always ways to bring him back. I think some people are disappointed that he's dead.
And everyone can
what is
come back.
Q-Ton saying? Both is good, but if I can't get Bateman or Jabby for real, I'm happy. I don't understand. Okay, anyway,
I don't know.
Sorry, I
Jason
got
called
distracted.
Jason Bateman. He knows. Joseph Crawford, don't know if you
right.
covered this already, but what did you think of the soundtrack?
Greg loved it.
I thought the soundtrack was great. I thought it wasn't ever overbearing, and the way of how sometimes when you hear music like this in any of these movies, like rap, R&B, or whatever, it might sound like they're just doing that for the kids. But I thought it actually, a lot of that worked. Like on the bus fight, it actually worked so well.
That was score, wasn't it? The bus fight sequence.
Yeah,
that
but
wasn't the soundtrack.
No, but it was working in the way of it was like kind of a R&B rhythm, wasn't it? That bus
Yeah,
one?
but I think that was by the composer. I don't think that was.
Yeah. I didn't use any they didn't use any sound. Yeah, everything was scored in this movie. I don't think they used any soundtrack.
There was definitely soundtrack music. Watching
Yeah.
the second time, I definitely noticed
What-
it. Like
where?
like when he's walking through the city.
There's music
going
with
to the
lyrics.
building when they first land. In
Oh,
China.
you mean like shit like that? That's something. I thought we were talking about like actual scenes, not like inserts.
Here's a montage. Here's a montage of a pop song on top
Yeah.
of it.
Well, well, the thing is for me, like the score worked for the film, but it's like the music didn't stay in my head like it did for you or for Achara. And watching it the second time, I was like, oh, I don't even remember any of these soundtrack songs the first time I watched it. And I realized why is because it's not really meaningful to the film. It's just filler so that they can sell the CD or sell the the.
I don't know. I think the first half of the music in the movie was really good.
You're talking about the score or the soundtrack or
score.
both? Okay, yeah, the score was good. I agree with you.
Yeah.
I'm saying I didn't care for any of the soundtrack songs.
Yeah,
I thought they navigated the mixed back and forth between those well, although I will say that the only soundtrack piece that like really grabbed me was the Anderson .Paak song at the very end. But I mean, like 88 Rising did a whole thing to curate the soundtrack, and there's a ton of Asian artists and rappers on it. So like I appreciated what it's for, and as switching between the score music, the second time noticed and was able to appreciate that a lot better. But I thought the soundtrack stuff worked too.
If we're gonna have Asian hip hop artists for this, how come we didn't have Eminem singing for Winter Soldier or anything like that? What's up with that?
Bucky,
Did he really?
He did Venom.
He
He did the Venom
did
song.
the Venom song.
I don't
Venom
remember.
song?
I don't remember that.
Knock
Sorry.
knock with the devil in.
You know the Venom song?
Venom.
No, I don't remember it. But
Venom.
Greg, you're the hip hop one between the two of us.
How do you-
John Morris,
you
but
can't
But the Venom.
forget.
Everyone knows the Venom song.
Nobody forgets the Venom song.
How do you not remember the Venom song?
How do you not remember the
Evelyn Jokera.
That's Max Kylung.
Wow.
Max
thank you.
Max
Calilung,
Calilung. Max
yeah.
Calilung.
Thank you so much.
I need more of that beatdown on the gangsters in the brothel type place. Kind of wish I saw Shang-Chi's mom fight with the mobsters. Me too. That was one of my big complaints, is that we didn't see Shang-Chi's mother fight. I wanted to see the fight up until she hits the ground, and then cut to Shang-Chi's face, watching her basically, get taken out. Did you notice also that when they showed Shang-Chi's mother dead, she had no bruises on her face? She was just basically, it's like she went to bed.
I was curious about what they were implying there, because he says you don't have your powers, and she clearly decimates a lot of guys. So I'm like, is the whole idea that,
Drained her energy or something.
I was just like, did she still have at least a little bit of powers or something like that to take out like 30 guys
Yeah.
all at once?
Well, she got some martial arts on her, that's all.
Oh yeah, but at the same time, it's like when she is dead, it's not covered in blood or bruise. So
Exactly.
maybe it was some type of draining of energy or having to pull for some life force within her that was a spiritual angle.
Yeah.
I mean, it would have been cool to see the fight, but I think the point of that scene was to show the effects on. Like, I know you're saying they should have done like a hybrid of both, where you see the fight, and you get to see Shang-Chi's reaction as a little kid.
Yeah.
I personally was content with just seeing his reaction to it all, because it made the horror of the sound effects that much more disturbing, because you're like, fuck, is she getting like brutally murdered right now? Because that's where my mind was going. It made it more unsettling for me.
Speaking of cutting away, how did you... Jesus Christ! Oh, that must be something. What is that?
CLP.
CLP.
Let's find out.
In
anyway.
U.S. dollars, that converts to $10,000.
Okay. But anyway, that just distracted me for a second. So I talked to Sintel and Courtney about that bus sequence when the guy is like, "Oh, I did some martial arts," and he's like videotaping it and streaming it from his phone. Did y'all like that a lot? The first
As a moment of Marvel comedy, I thought it fit naturally enough into the scene.
Yeah.
It was a little silly for, like, clearly when Razor Fist steps up, you're like, all right, my guy.
It was a little too.
Yeah.
Sometimes that shit can pull me. Like in the beginning, it was funny because I'm like, the whole world has seen a bunch of crazy shit by this point.
Yes.
Like they've all seen the decimation, the blip, all that. So they've seen a Chitauri, they've seen a whole bunch of stuff. So seeing people fight on the bus isn't a big deal.
Yeah.
But it is a little bit undercut when it is like this guy is just still like so cool and making the jokes when like half the bus is getting cut in half. You know what I mean?
I like the second time I watched it, I was more okay with it, but I hated it the first time I watched it because I'm like, I'm just getting into this fight. Let me be into this fight. Like, why are you cutting it away? Or like, just let it be. You know?
It was really funny. I liked it a lot. I really wasn't as bothered the first time. The second time, I was like. That's probably the only other criticism I walked away with.
Oilers Workshop says they won't show a woman getting beaten in a Disney movie.
No, that's not true.
Didn't you see The Little Mermaid? Come on.
Did you see Black Widow smash her face in front of Harvey Weinstein in that
Yeah,
movie?
come on.
That's right.
Yeah.
She got her ass handed to her by all the widows.
Didn't you see that little girl get exploded and then
what
come
she
back
look
as
like.
yeah, like, come on,
Hi,
guys.
Stewie. Hi, Brian.
She also gets destroyed in What If.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. And Nebula, I mean, come on, she gets full on taken apart.
She gets tortured.
She gets
oh my god! I
tortured.
watched Endgame again. Or yeah, it
Nebula
was
gets
Endgame.
tortured.
She gets like literally tortured, and it sounds awful. So
It's weird. I do now. The more that I think of it, I do wish we could have seen that. Like just a huge. The problem is that fight would have had to been 15 minutes between Shang-Chi's mom and everybody else. Evelyn, Jorge Quiroz from Chile. I butchered your name, but we know where you're from. Wong has a nice librarian job, likes listening to Beyonce, fights in an underground club, and goes karaoke. He really is one of the best MCU characters.
Wong is such a wild card.
He's
now.
so chill compared to who he used to be. Like when we were first introduced to him as this very strict librarian guy, now he's the most party-centric character. Like he doesn't give a shit about anything. He'll just go and hang out.
His character is very he is like a wild card now, to the point where I'm like, what? I can't. I don't know what tone his character strikes anymore.
Yeah, but I love that. I love the after credits scene when Shang-Chi's like, or and then they cut to the karaoke.
I appreciate
I
that.
love that he went with that.
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck?
Well, because it makes him more. It's like I still
funny.
believe that Wong is concerned with all the mystics that he needs to be, but at the same time, he can't be doing that 100% of the time.
I love in the fight with the Abomination where he makes him punch himself in the face. I thought that was one of the coolest things in MCU ever.
The humorous bits and personality bits they did with Wong help. Like that's instances to me of Marvel humor that's character based that helps expand and add legitimate quirk rather than just being like, here's an unlikely joke.
I gotta ask you guys in the chat right now. First off, if you're still here and you haven't hit that like button, please hit that like button.
it.
Secondly, I gotta ask, that Wong versus Abomination fight is really not that much longer than it is in the trailer. It's like you get some dialogue, and then the fight goes on like a couple of seconds more. You know, so but that was a big selling point for a lot of people too. In that when they were seeing Abomination versus Wong, people were doing breakdowns about it and all that stuff, and then it doesn't really the movie would be absolute, like it doesn't actually pertain to the plot. So were you guys at all let down by the fact that they didn't do much with Wong versus Abomination, or did you find it satisfactory enough? Like what you're talking about with the punch with the sling rings, I thought was a great moment. It's a good teaser of the future, but did you want more out of that?
I didn't think about it, to be honest with you. I was fine with it. However, now that you said that, it would have been cool to see Wong do a couple more of those portal punches, like him getting it in the gut and then to the face every time Abomination tries to punch him. That would have been cool, but I was fine with it.
It was all I ever expected it to be, really.
Wong I thought it would be longer. I thought it'd be like at least like 2 minutes longer. It felt surprisingly short-lived,
Back when I thought there was going to be a fight tournament in this movie, I think is
right
when I would have expected more of that.
But it is a good tease for what's to come, because clearly he's building some type of team. Like it raises a lot of interesting thing about the Wong and Abomination moment versus in conjunction with the post-credit scene is it raises all these questions now of what the fuck is really going on. Because
why is he there?
Like why are they there? Why is Wong participating in these fights? Why is he training Abomination? why like what is this team that Wong is like putting together of sorts, Is it going to link to Val from Falcon and Winter Soldier and Black Widow? What is it all linking to?
Well, the bigger question is, why does he have to fight Abomination in that ring? Why can't he fight him anywhere else in the world? Why
they
in that
need
ring?
money to fix the Sanctorum.
All that snow is getting in there.
Yeah, snow. There's a hole in the roof. We can't use magic to fix it.
Nox Tech, right?
Nox Tech is next.
Just a few days ago, Park Seo-joon was confirmed to be in the MCU films. Thoughts on this possibly being confirmation of Amadeus Cho Braun?
Oh my!
I am
I'm gonna have
unfamiliar
to look
with this
up Park
completely.
Seo-joon. I've probably seen this person before.
Do you know who that is?
I have no idea who this character is.
I think Andy Lee brought him up too in the chat.
And you're like, totally, yeah.
I was like, yeah, 100%, man.
Exactly.
I'm caught up to date with everything you're telling me, man.
Exactly.
Okay, he was in Parasite.
Maybe we should come back to that question while John looks that
Have
up.
you seen the dad in Parasite?
No, he.
No way.
Was the son.
Foster
okay.
Foster Lee. Do you want to read that one or no?
Greg John.
Other Greg.
That's us.
Other Greg. Love you guys. I think you're getting me confused here. I'm Greg, that's John.
Yes.
John you always see
Other
with
Greg.
iced coffee, and you've never had it. You won't see me with iced coffee ever. I hate coffee.
Greg doesn't like coffee.
Should you try it? Maybe. I hate coffee. Please, white girl, enlighten me. I'm sorry. Is this about Shang-Chi? No, it's not. But I think Shang-Chi would have coffee every now and then. So
Yes.
sure, why not?
What about Shang-Chi?
Okay.
What's up? What
He's saying, is
the
this
whole-
about the street? Yeah.
Okay.
We're moving on. We're moving on.
Well, we
Appreciate
didn't
the super
really
chat,
get to
buddy.
Knox texting. Did
Park
you,
Seo Joon, he had a cameo in Parasite and will be in the Marvels according to Wikipedia.
Oh,
Got
fun.
it.
So,
Okay.
I believe, if I'm remembering correctly, is the guy who the main young man character gets the tutoring job from, if I remember correctly, in Parasite.
Okay.
But
Well, thanks, Foster Lee. Try some iced coffee sometime. Lexi Jade. John, take it away.
all right, Lexi Jade, how many times did you cry during Shang-Chi? I cried 3 times. I'm sure you can guess the scenes. Loved your interview on Andy Lee. What a sick journey.
Did you feel anything in when Michelle Yeoh said to Shang-Chi about having to basically confront his past? He's like, you're a culmination of everything from your ancestors, both the good and the bad. You got to face the pain, or it's just going to get worse. Something like that. Did you feel anything in that scene? Because that was an emotional moment for me.
No, I didn't feel
nothing?
most of that.
Really?
Most of
I thought she brought such a compassionate, motherly presence.
There's a strong portion of that movie where I'm like, I'm not feeling anything.
Oh, I love that so much because it's like I feel like especially in this day and age where for a lot of people, I feel like a lot of us have to, deal with our history. Like even us, where I'm connecting.
Not now. Not these days, man. No one's dealing with their past.
we
these
have
days.
we have a very complicated history on our dad's side,
Of course,
like
yeah.
going back generations. And so when she said that, I connected with that dialogue from her, where she's like, "You're a culmination of everything from your ancestors, both the good and the bad. You got to deal with that shit." I was like, "Cool." Like and it made me emotional. Nothing. Wow.
I'm in therapy.
Okay, so
for
that
like-
was one of my.
I've been in therapy for like 10 years.
Movies are my therapy.
I feel like I've been doing that for a long
that
time
scene,
already.
that scene made me emotional. The little montage. These kinds of montages always get me though. Is when his dad was about to die, and it cut through the montage of him all the way till he's a baby.
Yes.
That always messes with me. Of like. Even in Passion of the Christ, when you see baby Jesus running, he falls down. Mary goes to pick him up. It's like seeing from the parents' perspective of their child, like after they're already grown up, in a flashback, always gets to me. I don't know why. So that made me emotional.
All right, I'll give you guys one that
I was in the middle
nothing
of
ever.
you two.
What do you mean? Go for
I
it.
mean, just now I'll like split the difference of your emotional responses, and I'm in the middle.
What was another emotional scene besides that when he died?
Okay, look. I got a little misty-eyed at a random moment the second time that for a reason I have no idea why.
When Chicken Pumbaa showed up?
With who?
Chicken Pumbaa? The chicken pig.
No. It was when they're fighting on the it's not called the skyscraper. What's it called?
The scaffold?
The scaffold. Yeah, the scaffold.
You got emotional at the scaffold scene?
No, it wasn't. I got a little misty-eyed for some reason
When Andy Lee showed up.
when Jai Ling showed up, and like the sister,
To
like
help
caught Katie, and then she
Katie.
starts like running up, and I'm like, I don't know what it is about this moment, but I thought it's so touching because I really thought she was like ditching them. I just didn't see it coming. It's that thing of like. That to me is a big part of it didn't get me the first time I watched it. The first time I watched it, I was like, "That's cool," and I'm sure I'm the only one in the universe who got a slightly emotional by that moment. But for some reason, that moment does get me emotional. Of like, look at her helping out. That's so cool. And here I thought she was backing out.
Yeah, that didn't do anything for me.
I know I'm like the only one who would get emotional in a scene.
What
like that.
other scenes was there
No,
for
I get
potential to get emotional?
Fuck, there's like a gazillion scenes.
I know I'm asking you. Like
Wen
what?
Wu dying.
Okay, that one we just talked about.
The mom dying.
Yeah, I didn't feel a whole lot there.
Trevor Slattery
It's just a
pretending
performance.
to be dead.
I did love that joke. Honestly, I did it. Like even though you can see it coming, I did really appreciate that. I
it funny how
cried.
Trevor
I cried
Slattery was-
tears of joy.
Isn't it funny how Trevor Slattery was so hated? And then he comes out of this movie, we're like, he's
So
so great.
beloved.
He's so awesome. yeah.
Well, his delivery was just so good.
Top notch.
Yeah.
Liverpool accent.
Yeah, I was never like moved. I don't think I ever came close to crying during actual scenes that were supposed to. I'm generally a pretty big crier. If I feel like crying, I'll just let myself cry. But I'm not one to be like, fight it, pussy. So
Don't show anyone.
I let myself cry if I feel it, but no, I didn't actually feel much.
Bobby Steven, right?
Yeah.
Better films. Better film, TSS or Shang-Chi, and why?
The Suicide Squad or Shang-Chi.
Oh, Shang-Chi by far for me.
I vote the Suicide Squad.
Really?
Yep.
What about you?
I think that the Suicide Squad to me was probably an experience where it feels like less stuff had to be cut and less things had to be truncated. So I think by an inch, I would probably say I think the Suicide
Oh my
Squad's a bit
God.
more of a smooth move.
No.
I think
But-
the Suicide Squad, definitely.
Well,
I thought
box
was
office says
more
otherwise.
Sure, why not?
Well, and two, I mean, Shang-Chi, like, I love a lot of stuff about Shang-Chi, and I really love what it does for the MCU, but there is a certain amount of, like, I can feel Marvel movies slowly kind of breaking out of a chrysalis of being Marvel movies to being whatever the next iteration of that is. So, like,
Yeah.
there are times in Shang-Chi where, like, you know, it dips in and out of being like, okay, it's a Marvel movie, and now we're in something kind of transcendent and different from that.
Yeah.
Whereas the Suicide Squad kind of is not on any mold,
Yeah.
except
That's
the molds
true.
of older, cinema films, not just like superhero type
Yeah.
films.
Yeah, I see that. I like Shang-Chi way more.
I think audiences generally will like Shang-Chi more. But like generally, audiences will. For me, to me, it's an easy answer.
You've watched both twice.
I watched both twice, both in the theaters. But no, there's a lot of people. There's a lot of people who didn't like Suicide Squad, and that's fine.
I'm gonna use
But-
the restroom for this next one.
All right.
Yeah,
Take
Fanatic
the
Chat,
microphone
take
with you.
that.
Take the mic
hot
with you.
mic, hot mic in the
All
restroom.
right, let's get through all these super chats before he gets back.
Okay,
All right.
hey guys, I was
Get a little closer for this now while we're here, John.
Yeah, we'll be right front and center. Hey guys, I was wondering if you've seen the
You
Toby.
don't have to be sorry. It's just our opinion.
No,
like that's so I get so I think it's so stupid to climb down people's throats for having a difference of opinion. Unless
That's
you're
the
on like
fun
a
of-
show that where the point of it is to do that, but
Yeah.
but if in real life, I'm like it's so stupid to do that.
The fun of artistic interaction is that everyone's experience is a bit different.
Yeah, and then
'Cause
like
everyone's life is different.
it's easy to say like, oh, I prefer Suicide Squad more than. Then that's a whole video, and then I'm gonna dedicate the next 30 minutes to explaining why.
Yeah.
But they're but at the end of the day, they're very different movies, so it's kind of weird to compare the two. And I'm like, they're not the same.
Yeah.
they're so different, thematically, tonally, stylistic. Like everything about them is so different. So I'm like, it's kind of weird to. When I compare, it's more like I would compare Shang-Chi and the show Iron Fist way more than I would compare fucking.
Well, yeah, it's like them both
Yeah.
being graphic novel adaptations, comic book adaptations means like way
Yeah.
more broad things than it used to. It's like, comparing a Jane Austen adaptation to an adaptation of Lord of
Sure.
the Rings. Both are based on books.
Yeah.
But they're very different books.
Fan added chat. Hey guys, I was wondering if you have seen the Toby and Andrew. I think I saw like it pop up in an Instagram feed, but I kind of scrolled past it really quick because I was like, just wait till it becomes more official.
I've seen it in a pixel.
It's like
form.
I already believe they're in it. I'm just waiting now. I'm just like I'm waiting for Sony to show me now.
Yeah. I'll read a leaked report way faster than I'll be like, show me the leaked image.
Reaction compilation All Stars. Get Sung Hai Lee in the next one. Yummy.
We read that already.
Does she still look good?
Let's.
I'm sure
let's
she
do
does.
a quick Google.
No, it's fine. I'm
we
sure
don't
she
wanna get
still looks
demonetized.
great. Trey Cersei. Okay, here's their ranking: 1 Guardians, 2 Infinity War, Captain America: First Avenger. Wow, more than
Winter Soldier.
Winter Soldier. I'm gonna jump down. I'm gonna be a hypocrite right
How
now
dare you.
and jump down your throat for not having the same opinion as me. Thor: Ragnarok and Shang-Chi. That's a fair list. I would say mine is for sure. Endgame and Guardians of the Galaxy 1 are my top 2. And I'm like the only one who keeps Iron Man in his top 5. I'm like the only one.
Great.
no one else.
Not as good as Iron Man 2. Am I right?
I think Iron Man is.
Bring
a
back Justin
solid
Hammer.
film. That is a solid, like, well done hero's journey tale of just this. Like, it's solid arc, and I'm like, there's a reason why it catapulted the MCU right away.
It's like the
You know?
perfectly solid first step.
Yeah, this like feels so much smaller now.
Yeah.
But I think it's like solid. Anyway, Steve, thank you, Trey. Thank you for everyone who's been contributing so far. And make sure to hit that like button. Main thing we ask.
Hit the like.
Stephen Toff. I started watching recently. Love the videos.
Oh,
Thank you very much.
Thank
Happy to have you here. John Frankie. These vids are incredible and fun. Keep up the great work. Really appreciate that, John Frankie. We do what we can.
Mr. Ratcatcher 2. Wenwu getting revenge on the Iron Gang in the restaurant is engraved in my memory forever. A blood debt must be paid with blood. Love your work, guys. Yeah, it was an awesome scene.
That is my favorite scene.
Yeah, you know what I made sure to watch the second time around was before the guy flies at the mirrors on the wall to really focus on the mirrors.
Yeah,
Because the first time I was looking at Shang-Chi's reaction, I'm like, oh wait, there's a thing happening over here before the guy flies in there.
He does that twice in the movie. The director.
What's that?
The mirror shot where you think you're looking at the real shot, like. Well, actually, no. It's a different kind of mirror shot. It's when Awkwafina first sings "Hotel California" on the scaffold, and then it pulls back, and then you're like, "Oh, we were looking at the reflection
in the glass."
yeah. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, those are cool.
It was a great scene.
He's got a specific style.
Yeah.
Johnny,
Cam K, it's your last year getting your PhD. You're just a couple words away from finishing your year-long dissertation. And Shang-Chi needs a computer shield. Yeah, man. That was an impactful character beat. What is that woman going to do? She probably failed and her life is ruined.
maybe she was set up as she's the main villain in the next one.
I could have been a doctor.
She's like Max in fucking Amazing Spider-Man 2.
What did that?
Absolutely, that's what's happening here.
Okay, let's talk about that for a second.
You're my eyes and ears,
What did him using that laptop actually do?
You know, it's funny. In
Bottom
the
step.
first time I watched it, I was like, Jackie Chan. And then the second time, I'm like, yeah.
What did that do?
You didn't need to destroy that woman's laptop. That
There
didn't do
was-
anything in the fight.
It was meaningless. Like, it would have been better if he like used it to smack someone or
I feel like
something
cut
like
it in
that.
half, start Jason Bourning it.
Yeah, something like that. Like he literally just took it to let it get sliced and then
quick
tossed
shield.
it back to her.
Yeah.
But it wasn't a shield because he went right through it. He saw that the dude was just cutting the bus up. So there's
Yeah.
no way he thought that was actually going to stop the momentum of that. You know.
That's fair.
That's fair.
So, fuck this movie.
No more love for Shang-Chi.
Suicide Squad's better.
No more love for Shang-Chi. All right.
Go enjoy doing ER work, my friend. Death Dealer could have been bad. I mean, I hope Andy Lee gets another chance in Marvel to like play an actual character because the guy can act and he's funny as fuck.
Yeah.
Andy Lee's a really funny performer.
He was wearing a mask.
Yes, he
While
was
in that,
wearing a mask.
While in that outfit,
That's
isn't
such
that
a
like-
Ryan George thing to say. He was wearing a mask.
But isn't that awful? Like, it's hard enough doing fight scenes as it
Yeah.
is in that ninja getup.
Yeah, of
And then on
course.
top of that, he's wearing a mask underneath that all, and,
Yeah.
and he's still flipping and doing crazy ass shit. I thought that was awesome.
Nitpicking much. Nah, man. And, in terms of a fight, I was thinking about that laptop cost $1,000 for that poor woman.
Yeah.
Not if it's Apple.
And I mean, and also those words that time spent cost even more.
Yeah, I did hear that. Like,
It was payback for making Awkwafina feel bad.
I mean, there's some. I did see an obvious Iron Man 3 now with the. Was it Extremis? Is the name of that?
Yeah, the guy fighting and Extremist.
Or with the heated-
red. Yeah,
the
yeah,
red
yeah.
on his
That was
body.
like, oh, it's
Under
got to
the
be
skin.
Extreme. Yeah, that makes sense.
That's what
in the fight
New Rockstar said,
chamber.
Oh, I haven't seen New Rockstar's videos yet.
I think. Yeah.
Any of them.
What's with all the haters all of a sudden? They're all coming from, geeks and gamers.
Yes, they heard we were streaming. They heard we were streaming and too woke on the stream, so they can't leave it alone. Flev is in the Streamlabs. Thank you so much, Flev. I'm glad to see you happy for the Asian representation, and I'm also happy that Shang-Chi. Oh, good, geeks and gamers can hear this. And I'm also happy that Shang-Chi had some Romanian representation. Florian Munteanu.
It's Razor Fist.
Montanu is Razor Fist. Let's go. He's technically born in Germany from Romanian parents, but still cool.
He's Ivan Drago's son, right?
Yeah.
When I
Yeah.
was watching the second time, I'm like, wait a minute. I know this guy from somewhere.
Yeah.
Oh, he's actually in.
He's in
Creed
Creed 2.
Okay. I don't
Yeah.
remember.
If he
I
dies.
don't remember that film very well. Like, I watched it, and I just completely blocked out that fight.
Just trim his
He
beard.
blocked
and there
out
you
the
go.
fight. He's not just in one fight. He's in like
He's in a bunch.
he's in many scenes.
I know. I could
build up to
I
him. the
don't
whole
remember him
movie.
at all. I don't remember that film very well, other than the training sequences, like in the pool and the desert. That's all I remember from that film.
I'm glad that most people who are coming here are really enjoying this movie.
But
Yeah.
did you? How did you feel about him in the film? Because I was like, when I watched it the second time, I'm like, why is he in this movie? Why isn't it an Asian dude?
All right, I got a nitpick.
What's that?
I got a nitpick.
Let's do it. Pick that nit.
I'm declaring nitpick before you be dicks.
Nitpick. Nit dicks.
Persnickety moment.
When his car is being taken,
Mm-hmm.
he's sitting at the security system watching everything happen.
Yeah, I'm like.
And it's until they're driving off when he's like, "That's my car." I'm like, wouldn't you have noticed the second they walked in there?
Were you not watching for them?
The second they went in there,
Yeah.
you would have noticed it. That's about my only problem with the Razor Fist. Other than that, he's kind of just cool henchman with a razor fist.
Yeah.
He did exactly what I thought he would do in this movie. I didn't
Yeah.
think he'd be a character. I didn't expect anything from him.
No.
Yeah.
No.
In fact, I think he was there more
Than I expected.
him to be.
Yeah. I only expected him in the bus chase.
He was more of a distraction to me.
I thought he would just be that one fight and then move on.
Anytime they had a ninja with a white dude under the mask, I was just a little bit distracted for some odd reason.
I mean, that just shows the power of influence that this white man is willing to follow an Asian guy.
Yeah, move out to this compound in the mountains.
But you guys saw every time there was a white ninja, right? Like you guys saw that also. Like even on the scaffolding fight, there was a white ninja in when he goes when he says my son is back and everyone like bows or something like that. I saw white ninjas in there too. Like,
I thought
it just
they
reminded
were all
me.
wearing eye blacks, but
No, it reminded me of martial law.
This
The
stream
Sammo
is
Hung
now
show.
too woke.
Aw, Sammo Hung
Too
show.
woke.
Did you enjoy seeing
White
Yuen
people
Wah in the
deserve
film?
to-
Who?
Yuen Wah?
Oh, the older guy with who taught Awkwafina how to shoot.
Yeah.
I didn't realize who he was until I saw a breakdown, and then I lost my shit about him.
I need to watch this new Rockstars breakdown. Let's see here. Did we read this one?
Den of Lippy? Yes! Jabby and Greg and John. Let's go! My favorite trinity. I loved the scene where Awkwafina shot the bow because it was predictable, but perfect at this moment.
Yes, it was.
How many generic cliche things were predictable but executed in a way where they felt good?
0, that's how much. This one was the only one. I loved it. I thought it was great.
You know, that's a really good question.
It made me happy.
And I feel like it's a very broad question, so it'll probably take a while to get to a good answer. But like what's a good example of a cliche in? Is it just this movie for your question, or any movie? Because like a cliche where it's like just the execution of something predictable makes it still great.
I feel like she can do no wrong.
It's all about the context of the scene and how it's like one thing predictable is freaking okay. It's obvious that the Great Protector wouldn't die, right? Like if the Great Protector dies, and they fucking lose the whole movie, right? But I remember the first time watching it, going, "Shit, are they gonna kill the Great Protector? Because it looks like he's gonna die."
Yeah,
They were doing such a good job on that fight scene with the dragon that it was having me going like, "Did he kill this dragon right away?" I thought
that was so silly, by the way.
What?
It's like I'm not gonna let go of you again. I'm like the Great Dragon, the Great Protector's about to die, yo. Let go of your sister. Deal with the bigger problem. I thought that was very silly.
She would have died though.
But this affects billions of people if this dragon goes.
But it's his sister.
She's gonna die anyway. She's gonna die anyway if the dragon dies.
Nah.
But this way, didn't you see the movie? By doing this, he was able to have her live and everybody else live.
You know what? Okay, Turtles in the
What?
chat.
What are you saying?
Hey, yeah, that whole woke talk I think is so stupid with this movie. I'm like, what
What do you mean?
How dare you cast all Asians for an Asian story?
There's certain channels that just manage to find a way to spin
what-
everything into
what-
this, to like completely eliminate all context around the conversation and just zero in on a line that someone said and then go, "This is all this woke." I don't want to make the stream about it. No,
But what woke talk? I'm confused.
No,
Did
well,
I say
I'll
something
tell you,
woke?
no, not you. No, I made some joke and now it's got brought up in the chat.
Anything
and because I
diverse.
make fun of people who like spin way too many things that way.
Anything demonstrating a modicum of diversity.
But okay, so one of my favorite lines, as someone in the chat was just bringing this up, one of my favorite lines is when Tony Leung looks at the guy who's been training Awkwafina, and he says something like, "You better watch the way you speak to me, young man."
Yes.
I'm like, that is such a lived-in line, in the way he
Yeah.
says it is so cool. Because you forget like, oh yeah, this guy's been around forever, and I don't know, I just haven't seen that in a movie where this guy's clearly like an old person he's talking to.
Yeah.
And he references him young man.
Yeah.
And he doesn't mean it in a mocking way. He means it in a sincere way.
He is
'cause
genuine.
He's genuinely
Yeah.
way older than this guy.
Yeah.
And to call him young man, I
Love
thought that
that.
was so cool. So cool.
No, I agree with
Yeah.
you. That was one of the few scenes
a
where the
good one.
green screen was obvious to me, though.
I think the thing with the sister, though, I can meet you halfway because I did think it went on a little too long because they were trying to flesh out the moment of like, no, I'm not going to abandon you because they're trying to make an emotional scene out of it.
Yeah.
But I did get a little anxious when I watched it, like, fucking man, we're gonna the great protector dies, we're all dead. You know?
Yeah.
So yeah, one of those things.
Young man.
All right, but yeah, the young man line is one of my favorite lines in the movie.
I loved
That's a
it.
great line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then his reaction, too. The old
Yeah.
guy. He's just like, he didn't know what to do with that.
Yeah. Mario PR. You can only pick one to be in Shang-Chi 2, Jet Li or Jackie Chan. Love you,
Jackie Chan.
Reject.
Jackie
Easily-
Chan.
easily Jackie Chan.
Jackie Chan. I don't know what's
Jackie
up with
Chan.
Jet Li, but he was in the Mulan movie, and a lot of people didn't even realize it was Jet Li.
Well, Jet Li's incredibly ill.
Yeah.
He can't
So-
fight.
No, but he doesn't need to fight. He just needs to be there and say something. But like everything he did in Mulan, I guess it's because he was. I guess it was because he was ill.
Just be there and say something.
No, but just
Jet
having
Li
his
every couple
presence.
minutes he says
But
a
just
line.
having that presence is enough of a nod for people. Like
That's
if
true.
you had Jackie
That's
Chan
fair.
show up and not do any fight scenes, I think people would still be happy, even if he
Sure.
was just talking. You know?
Sure, yeah. I think Jackie Chan's the one that makes the most sense because Jackie Chan. Okay,
He
you guys,
broke open the gates.
what you got to understand with Jet Li is Jet Li doesn't choreograph his own fights. Usually, his choreographer is a person named Corey Ewan, who directed the first Transporter movie. That's
right.
So Corey Ewan is his main choreographer, where Jackie Chan invented a style. He invented a form of fight choreography that is obviously being homaged in Shang-Chi.
Yeah.
So it just makes a billion times more sense beyond Donnie Yen, beyond Jet Li, beyond Sammo Hung, beyond all of them. The one you bring into a Shang-Chi movie would be Jackie Chan. Just contextual speaking. Brad Allen was the second unit director. Andy Lee, his big inspiration is like all about Jackie Chan. So I'm like, Jackie Chan, clearly Jackie Chan is the main one who's referenced. So, and you're wearing a Jackie
And
Chan
yeah,
shirt.
you're getting shirt love.
Someone, a
shirt
Disney
love.
fan in the chat said that. So I was like, yeah.
That's why you bring on Chow Yun Fat. You just
You can
surprise
bring Chow Yun
everybody.
Fat. You can bring
You
Chow
bring
Yun
Chow Yun
Fat.
Fat, absolutely.
Throw everybody off.
I
Chow Yun
mean,
Fat recently revealed that he's giving all of his money away to charity when he dies. It's already set up. When he dies, all his money's just going to charity. No one in his family's inheriting it. He's like, that's the whole. The money's not for me. It's just I just want the best way to live life is just how to live it, relaxed and stress free. I'm like, you made a career out of shooting people. Like that's your biggest filmography is you gunning people down, and here you are talking about like
What a selfish move. Giving his money away.
I know. Give
So
it to your one
selfish.
kid.
No, that's what assholes do throughout history. Is instead of like these rich dudes who are barons and who are not that he's a rich baron, but they build parks and
Right.
Other public fixtures to make it seem like they were great. So
You haven't heard of Chow Yun Fat Land in Hong Kong?
I want to go.
Every ride feels like a gun.
Every
stands at the front of the ride.
Exactly.
the ride of the gun.
Dano Flippy? If you look at Eternals, it feels like a different film as it has this tone and pace that seems interesting. Then Shang-Chi was pretty cool, practical, visually compelling, and structured well, working techniques together. And then there's Black Widow.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm curious to know because it seems like these are all falling on a different scale of the practical to CGI scope, and I feel like Shang-Chi arguably did one of the best jobs I've seen in a while like still being like, I can tell you need a lot of CG for this.
Hit it, John.
But I was also like, there were times where I cannot tell where the real effects end and the practical fights end and the effects begin in Shang-Chi, whereas like in Black Widow, there are times where it's like, oh, okay. It's Act 3, and we're just all in this big CGI sky thing now. And then Eternals, I imagine, will have like tons and tons of like trippy CG.
Yeah.
John, you handled that question
Yeah.
perfectly. Let's move on.
Hey,
Dana Flippy came in
alright.
again.
Dana Flippy, oh yeah. And like I said last time, how's the soundtrack?
You got all of them.
Okay, enough with the he's. And were they rings or bracelets?
Bracelets.
They're bangles. A bangle is a kind of bracelet.
Yes. Thank you, Sean.
They're ring-shaped bracelets. But if they-
I do hope that we do see them do a little bit because I mean I feel like you're eliminating something really cool from having 10 rings and each ring does something specific, and then you kind of just I love what they did with it in the movie, but I'm hoping they like unlock even like, oh, there was even more potential with the rings that they realized.
It's got to be like All for One, where like there's secret powers in each ring, but then like they all come together to perform One for All. Sorry,
Yeah,
One for All.
but they're more bracelets.
Yeah,
You would call that a bracelet if you were to go at a store. If you went to Hot Topic, the store I shop at weekly.
it
You
seems
would
like
go, those are bracelets.
Well, I think originally they were actually rings, and then they got changed into bracelets for the film.
it seems as well. That is the case, but it seems as though in the movie their resting state is like bracelet size. But think of it: if they change size so that they can all fit up the bezel, like the flaring of a forearm, then they could shrink to ring size.
Then they should
Right.
get like cleft rings. Then they should get.
A lip ring and an
rings.
earring.
Yeah.
How about gauges?
They got to get really
for your
creative with the
lobes?
next one. Just like
Yeah.
ring nipple rings.
Yeah.
You could do anklets as
Nipples
well.
rip open every time
You could
use
have
one.
it. You could have it as anklets and integrate that into the fight. So a kick sends the ring into somebody.
Shang-Chi's on house arrest. He's got an anklet on this time.
Freedom. Greg taking Wenwu #1 villain comments like personal compliments. Ha ha.
Hell yeah, of course I do.
Vodka, they are that. Oh, Joe.
Flip Doran again.
Yeah, Flevy D.
The rings are 100% celestial tech. I'd be in the chat for someone saying that, and I would assume that's why I'm not thinking it's. A lot of people are like, "Is it galactic?" I'm thinking, nah, they're probably trying to tie it into like fucking Eternals or some shit, right? Like that's
Probably.
They have to keep it a little focused, either Eternals or Kang. It's got to be somewhere tied into that. Flev Doran. I arrived late, right when Wenwu and Ying Li started fighting, dancing. Okay, so you got there at the right time. And my defense move was at 11:30, and I arrived at 11:40. But usually it's like 15 to 20 minutes of commercials where the actual movie starts. Oh wow, you got dicked
They
over, man.
gypped
Yeah,
you.
usually there's 20 minutes. I work off that 20 minutes all the time.
All the time.
So frustrating. Like the one time you show up later expecting the trailers to be there. That happens to me every time.
Catch you, yeah.
Ava, thanks for the super chat, Flav. Hi, all. Sorry if I asked her, if I already asked, but do you think Tony outshined Simu? Yeah, definitely. If yes, do you think that's a bad thing? Because, well, you see, and also, oh my God, I thought Greg and Ja were siblings for the longest. I feel dumb. You thought we were siblings? What?
No, it's over here.
Yeah.
That's right. Don't you see there's
Well, I think the thing that balances is Simu's in so much of the movie, like 90% of it, where Tony Leung is not in it as much, so he doesn't completely overshadow him. And there's a lot of scenes where Tony Leung is not with Simu, so I feel like Tony Leung steals the show anytime he's on screen. Yeah,
I feel like he's in a movie almost as much as Simu Liu.
probably.
Because a lot of Shang-Chi is flashbacks.
Yeah,
So
but not most of it.
not most of it, but I feel like he's on camera as like an adult.
This is why I'm
Just-
starting my channel called Screen Time, where we count who has the most screen time.
the most screen
It's
time.
actually a channel idea I've had for
I-
a long time. Anyone want to take it? Go for it.
It really feels like Tony Leung's
I want to
movie.
start a channel that just breaks down. It fact checks every time somebody says the first half hour of this movie, and then I'll go and see, was it really a half hour or was it more like the first hour? How good is your time perception while you're
Well,
watching?
I know
a film?
plot beats so well. Like the obvious midpoint of this movie is when Wenwu shows up with that's like break it to midpoint
Get
off your
Shang-Chi,
typical
yeah.
Hollywood script after he fights Death Dealer.
Yeah,
How did you feel about his sandals?
Who's?
Wenwu's.
they were very
fucking
scary.
notice.
They
Yeah,
were
That
very
didn't
scary
bother. That didn't
sandals.
bother you. That bothered me so much. All right. Anyway.
Sandals?
Why? What's wrong
Because
with
when he shows up,
sandals?
that scene you're talking about, when he shows up, I'm like, I expect the dude to be in boots or something like that. Like he's just
Nah, he's
he's
got
a
all
boss.
his other his other dudes are in sandals. He's in
Fuck
boots.
me.
He's the boss, so he wears the sandals.
Oh my god.
Is this why you don't like the Suicide Squad?
Because they were all wearing sandals. I think that Tony, just to go back to that question, I think he just gets the juiciest stuff to work with in the movie. It's like
That's
the
true.
trouble is often with any hero and villain saga is like the hero is something of an everyman, which can often make it more relatable, but also less rich in terms of what they have to do. Whereas, like Wenwu is the richest character in the movie.
They were like,
Yeah.
they're like, they fucked him up in the comics. We need to do this right.
Yeah,
So we're gonna do it so right that
Yeah.
that it
it's gonna be the main
outshines
thing
everything
people talk
else.
about.
Popcorn. Hello. I loved Wenwu's what's that? Speech about his name. Do you all know why your parents named you the names you have? Have a good day.
Oh,
Do you know Awkwafina's Chinese name in the movie?
she,
I thought it was Wenwu also.
she says it's like Renwu or something.
You sounded so much like his
Yeah.
name.
Ah.
And so initially I thought it was like a joke or something.
Well,
I
to
couldn't
answer your question, to stay on track before we start going all over the place. Yeah, I'm named after my uncle Gregory, who passed at the age of 12, who's my dad's brother. My brother is named after our grandfather, John. His parents looked at him and said, "Give him the most generic white man name." And they said,
that his grandfather had.
Dreamer store. Bosses handle their business in house slippers.
I was just given a white, like when you're a white baby, they just come by with a label maker and they put one on. Steve,
Matthew, Mark, Luke,
Mike,
John.
Yeah, yeah, we run out of the biblical names. Throw a Fred in there or something just to mix it up. Back to Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. All right, let's check back in this.
Soren Abraham says, "I wish they explained the powers the Talo people had. Was it chi or not? I mean, they had the wind bending and the water bending came from the dragon.
I think it helps that they don't fully explain.
And they also had the dragon scales.
You'd pigeonhole them if you explained what it was.
They have a general sense of mysticism
Yeah, you get the idea.
at their disposal.
But then you deal with a lot more like fucking rules that you got to be obedient to at a certain place, and you got to flesh out more when there's already so much world building in this movie. So yeah, something like that.
Wow, so many supers.
All righty.
Where is it? Where is
I'm
it?
getting back. We did.
Can you flash to this page really quick, John, before bringing back the chat? All right, let's bring it back up. Cool. Thank you guys for hitting the like button. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for all y'all for being here. This is a pretty solid turnout. by
Haven't
our
paid attention
standards.
at all to the how many people have been here or anything like that this whole time. So
It's more
I
than-
literally block it so that
Oh,
way I could just
think we're
focus on
here.
the stream.
I think we're here. Yeah, that one. David Gandhi.
David Gandhi.
Gandhi.
David
David
Gandhi.
Gandhi.
David Gandhi.
David Gandhi's a friend of ours. Actually, right.
Morning, guys. Love the overall feel of the movie, differentiating itself from past Marvel movies. Can't wait for Zhao's Eternals. Excellent job with your interview with Andy.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, we wouldn't have had the same position if it weren't for you, David.
As great as Eternals looks, I can't help but be honest with you guys right now. I'm a tad concerned that it might not be a good movie.
I was concerned about that too, but I'm still very excited.
Like, we'll get back to the Streamlabs, don't worry. But yeah, no, I'm excited for it, and I have a lot of faith.
The alien bad guy, or the one that's holding up Angelina Jolie, looked terrible.
I'm just wondering tonally how it's gonna be. That's more like tonally. It's weird. The only things I'm concerned about the most basic shit with Eternals, which is tone and pacing. That's the one part where I'm like, I feel like the director will be at major odds with Marvel about how to do this movie.
Yeah,
You know,
none of the jokes in the trailer really moved me.
I kind of like the.
I'm
Ikea
coming to that
joke?
movie for the comedy.
It's whatever to me.
Yeah.
But overall, I just love the concept so much. I think it's so neat, and so I'm very excited nonetheless. I do have that concern, but I'm excited about the concept.
If Kevin Feige didn't really talk about Shang-Chi, but he is that excited about the Eternals, I feel like that means it's either going to surprise everybody with greatness or surprise everyone with really not greatness.
I generally have. Can you guys hit that like button too when you get the chance? Someone
Please
just
like.
pointed it out, and I was like, "Oh shit! There's that many people watching." I thought there was like 500.
There's
people.
over 1,000 people. I won't tell
Okay.
you how much over, but there's over 1,000 people in this chat.
Cool. That's good to hear. Hamza Omar, I love the film. My only problem, every time I speak to someone of Asian background, I just want to bring up the movie and say how much my respect for the Far East culture and history is rekindled.
Wait,
My
what?
only problem, every time I speak to someone of Asian background, I just want to bring up the movie.
Yeah, I
Say
get
how
that
much I
feeling
respect
though.
for the Far East
That
culture
happened to
and
me
history.
with Crazy Rich Asians. Every time I saw Asians sitting next to me at a restaurant, I'm like, "Yo, do you watch Crazy Rich Asians?" There's that compulsion because maybe you watched it because you're Asian, but it's like you're dealing with your pseudo inner racism because why should you have that compulsion just because they're Asian?
Right.
But I can get away with
are
that.
supposed to care about
Exactly.
that.
I
It's
can
in
get
the
away with
title.
it. I can get away
Because
with it being
all
half
Asians
Asian.
are a monolith,
Yeah, exactly.
and there aren't distinctions between them.
Exactly. We all watch the same
It's
thing.
one big community.
Right. None of us eat with forks.
There aren't different countries that make up this one big idea that we
Yes.
have now.
Okay, look, guys. I said I'm a tad concerned about Eternals. I didn't say I was gonna be shit. What the fuck? Say one little
Welcome,
thing.
this will
Say
be
one
the
little
new-
thing sometimes.
instead
I
of
was like, I'm a tad
Spider-Man,
concerned. And
That
I'm
could
like,
be
it
the
looks-
new channel hook.
The first 2 times I saw that trailer, I was like, "This looks amazing!" And oh my god! And then the last time I saw it, which is like probably the 6th time I've seen the trailer, I was like, actually, might be a little bit worried about the tone and pacing. That's what happened.
Tim Vreeling is asking if we're Asian. We are half Asian.
Don't say half. Shang-Chi's out. We are full Asian.
1/16 mighty Choctaw. I know.
You'll get Blue Beetle Dream Restore.
Dream Restore, yeah. You just got Miguel from Cobra Kai. Didn't he just get cast as Blue Beetle?
Pure Filipino, that one.
Pure Filipino.
Apostle 773. Donating to point out that In the Dark was a really good transition song after Katie is told the truth and is brought out of the dark of Shang-Chi's truth. Oh.
Hell yeah.
Okay, so there we go. An intentional soundtrack choice. I guess that might have been a subtle choice on the director's end because the lyrics to that song really didn't stand out to me then.
It's not at all, not even a little bit.
Funny enough, the second viewing was the time where, not in a big way, but every once in a while, I was like, I'd catch a lyric and be like, oh yeah, okay, this relates a little bit.
Yeah.
Without being too on the nose.
Billy the Kid Lawrence from Blind Wave, the editor there. Real Rejects trip to Ohio to collab with Blind Wave. When? Why don't they come here?
Yeah.
Don't you see it'd be much easier to fit 4 motherfuckers in this studio than in their gigantic ass studio?
That's built to house like 10 people at a time on camera.
I think it'd be so much funnier watching 4 more people crammed in here than
we can
2
put
more people on their wide frame lens.
We can put a round desk in front of our square desk.
Yes. Reading on Super Chat comments, wish I could give 10 likes. Give 10 likes.
Jarrett Rush
Create
says,
different accounts.
Abomination has always been stuck in that form in the comics. That's the difference between Hulk and Abomination.
Not made clear in the... he did go like all out at the end of the Hulk movie, so he might have gone too far when he's like, I want more. Give me more. I want more. Yeah, that's my favorite Emil Blonsky line. That's true. I like how he answered a question I had an hour and a half ago. Let's see here.
Trey Cersei, a moment of silence. Thank you.
Thank you, Trey. Moment of silence.
Z-Shot Media. In a Shang-Chi sequel, is it possible we would get a tease towards the Iron Fist? The realm of Ta Lo reminds me a lot of Kunlun in the comics where Iron Fist trains. I've heard that a lot.
God, I really hope they don't bring Finn Jones back.
Why? I think we need to unpack that again.
I like Finn Jones in the way I like Taylor Lautner. Like, I think
I like watching you try.
Where you don't have to look at him.
Like, no, I mean, he's so amusing for me to watch act. And I'm like, dude, you got like the role of the century. Like, even if your show got canceled, I'm like, but I'm like, oh yeah, I want those Netflix characters to live on. Not really a Finn Jones, especially after Shang-Chi. I'm like, you need people who can fight.
Yeah.
And Iron Fist is supposed to be Iron Fist comics wise is often in the top 5 of Marvel. Shang-Chi is usually number 1 in Marvel fighters, but Iron Fist has to. It's important. It's important that you get a guy who can fight. All right, Z-Shut. But no, I mean, I would still like them to bring back Iron Fist. I think it'd be cool.
J. Star Prod.
Take it away, Johnny.
If at the end, when Wenwu died, Shang-Chi held him in his arms for a little longer, having a flashback of his mom's death, that would have been traumatic enough to be a catharsis of his character's arc.
I feel like it's so apparent what's going on with him in that moment that I didn't need any more. But a lot of people I feel like a lot of people needed more.
Wait, his mom died?
Who? Wenwu? His mom
No,
probably died
Shang-Chi.
thousands of years ago.
Yeah. His mom is so long dead.
It wasn't obvious that his mom died.
No, she just went to sleep for a long time.
Exactly.
Official.
There's got to be a way to resurrect the mom. That would have been a crazy post-credit scene, wouldn't it?
Well, I mean, if something can suck souls out and stuff like that, maybe there's like, a way that we can bring it back and it'll go wrong.
Yeah.
But,
You know what? On that, I actually really like that. It was so final. Every time like someone's soul got sucked out of them, and like, because I thought after the mega soul sucker got killed, I thought everyone was going to get restored. But no, they're dead. They're gone.
Yeah.
This
I
was
thought
a battle with cost.
Yeah, I thought that was cool because you're so used to, especially after Endgame, you're used to things just coming back.
I'm going to answer this question in the chat really quick. I think Kingpin's going to be in Spider-Man No Way Home, and it hasn't leaked yet.
He's the lawyer.
Peter. Let's see. Yeah, they should bring Leung back. That'd be cool. Let's see here. Michael. No.
Official.
Official Sahil. Hey guys, just want to say love you 3. Even Okay.
Even the white guy.
Hey, I love the film. Can't wait to watch it again. And after walking the theater, I can't decide who had the better knife fight. Shang-Chi or Captain America, the winner. Well, I think the knife fight belongs to the Winter Soldier, the knife fight itself. The Shang-Chi fight was cool. There were parts of the way that fight was directed, though, that I wish, like the with the Death Dealer, there were some parts of that shot, that fight that were too overhead. Like coming from above where I'm like, I can't really tell what's going on. And it's the second time I'm watching this fight. Well, you know what I'm talking about when he's fighting Death Dealer? And
You talking about the camera? The camera angle? I didn't like that camera angle.
The camera angle was the part that was kind of, I'm like, come on, this is Death Dealer and Shang-Chi. Just keep the camera profile.
I did think about that, actually. I had that same exact thought the second time watching it. I'm like, why is the camera above them? I can't appreciate the intricacy of the choreography as well. Yeah, that was frustrating.
I'd have been okay with one cutaway to the top angle, but they do it a few times.
Yeah.
Let's just get through this fight as fast as possible.
Now we're nitpicking.
Yeah.
I know.
Well, maybe that was a moment where they had a stunt double.
I know.
For Simu?
For Simu, yeah. Because, like, if they have an angle where you can't really get a good look at his face, it's entirely possible it wasn't him. So, Michael Rodriguez, I probably said that horribly. Uriegas. Can I get a training montage of Spider-Man and Shang-Chi?
There's a comic recently where Shang-Chi and Spider-Man are fighting each other. I'm not really sure what, but I do think Shang-Chi and Spider-Man would be an interesting mix. In fact, you know who's also in San Francisco? Venom.
John should definitely read this one.
When they get hit with the livid 14. Just started Flim School, and whenever it gets and whenever it gets stressful, you guys.
That's a major super chat. Thank you, dude.
Yeah, seriously.
Holy crap.
Save that for one of your projects. Whenever it gets stressful, you guys are there to give me fun and laughs. My question is, what do you think is the future of the Ten Rings organization? Sorry if you got this question earlier. P.S. John, you're a ugly abomination.
God damn, you messed that up.
Oh, it's a girl. So
Thank you, Livid.
If it's a gay guy, they'll say that about me. But if it's a girl, that's the trade-off here at the channel.
No matter who you are, I think you're a cutie too.
Never a woman will come in. No, we actually haven't gotten this question yet. But yeah, I think we could all say John's a cutie. John's definitely a cutie.
That was the question we hadn't gotten.
Yeah, we think so. But okay, that is a great thing. No one's really asked about this, and I feel like a lot of people don't really give a shit about it.
Where it's going to go in the future, the Ten Rings organization, because she doesn't have the rings.
Yeah, that's what Olivia brought up right when the movie was. She's like, she doesn't have the rings. What? The whole reason the guy could conquer is because they're. I'm like, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of. To be fair, like the Mandarin in the comics was essentially Iron Man's arch nemesis. Because he was more than just a fighter, he was actually this highly intellectual, like superior intellectual being as well. And we don't really get that side of Wenwu in this movie. You see some parts of strategizing and whatever and figuring shit out, but he's really more. They don't really focus on that side of him. So they don't really. The way they establish the 10 rings dominating is because he does have the rings and he is the biggest threat. But you see him often out in the battlefield as well, using the rings in order to dominate. Yeah. So. Can they? I don't really know what the threat level is, or it's like it seemed like the post-credit. The first one was for the future of Marvel, and the second one was for the future of the Shang-Chi franchise,
right?
And what they're going to do there. So I don't know. Maybe she's just going to be a villain. It's going to be a debate about like, no, I can make the 10 because in the comics, the Mandarin, when it comes to the 10 rings, it's a form of control. Because he thinks humanity's messed up in the way humanity operates. Mm-hmm. So if I can, if they live by like a narcissistic controlling path, like if they follow the way I think we should live, then we'll be happier and cool. So maybe she has a bigger plan, or she's just trying to make some fight tournament thingy happen. Like Eric Voss had that prediction in the post-credit scene breakdown about possibly getting some like tournament movie going like that, and that's maybe what they've been teasing. And I'm like, that would be cool to watch like more lower level, not like the lead MCU characters, but smaller ones like go in this tournament. That would be really awesome. So I would like that, but I wasn't as excited by that. Like the way they shoot that scene, I'm like, oh, I should get this like oh shit,
goosebumps. Yeah.
But I'm like, wait a minute, but she doesn't have the rings. How can she be threatening?
It's pretty impressive that she managed to get all those girls on board like within a day, and all know the same exact form.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
You know,
she moves quick. Or maybe we'll get a 10 Rings organization TV show.
Thanks for the good question, man.
Someone was saying in the regular chat, Louis Tan as Iron Fist.
Yeah, be great.
I'm convinced Greg and I hung out with Louis Tan when he was young. And we were young. Yeah, when we were all kids. I'm convinced we hung out with Louis Tan.
I believe he smacked my ass once without my permission.
We got to get him canceled.
You joking?
We gotta get him. Are you joking?
I can't tell if you're joking. No, because we hung out at Philip Tan's house for like a whole afternoon, and I'm convinced he was there with us. I just don't remember, like, obviously you look different when you're a grown-up.
I'm sure he was there.
No, no one looks different. Johnny B, wonder if Eternals addresses whose head is nowhere. Could be.
That would be smart.
Absolutely could. I mean, that would be another thing that we could then look back and go,
probably
see, they
will.
set it up so many phases ago.
I mean, Guardians of the Galaxy 1 was the first one to introduce the like actual show, like a moving celestial, and the collector's little television. That's what we call those screens.
The TV, yeah.
Damn, how y'all get to know celebs? We live in L.A., man. They're everywhere. Just walk outside, you'll see Britney Spears and Madonna just making out.
I'm pretty sure it'll address who Nowhere is. But yeah, when we were kids, my dad would talk to everybody and anybody. And Philip Tan, who's a stunt coordinator, former stuntman, was one of those people that he made friends with. Philip Tan is Louis Tan's father, and Greg and I were in a short film that Philip Tan directed.
It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Yeah.
I also saw
Always
Louis Tan
sunny
in
at
person.
Philip Tan.
I also saw Louis Tan with his dad once at Gymnastics Olympica because I was like flipping and stuff. This is before Louis Tan became famous. He came in just like shooting videos of stunt guys and stuff like that.
Dude. Stunt guys, what's up?
I don't think we're celebrities now. I feel like
Yes, you
we've
are.
been celebrities for a long time, and we're just finally getting the recognition we
gotcha.
deserve.
Yes,
That's right.
Sure.
We'll be celebrities soon enough, but we're just getting to household name first. That's you gotta pass the infamy. Percy Tremblett.
Happy Monday! I
All right,
noticed
guys,
that Doctor.
Just a heads up, we are going to try to end this stream in about 15 to 20 minutes.
Okay.
Happy Monday! I noticed that that Dark Strange is trapped in a dimension that looked a lot like an Infinity Gem. Do you think he's in Agatha's brooch?
No,
No.
do not think that at all.
I don't think he's in a Power Stone either.
If Agatha had a capability of something like that, I
She
feel
would
like
be the Sorcerer
she would
Supreme.
have won his ass.
Yeah, she would not have been Wanda's first day using chaos magic. No.
Strawwood Prime, do you think Shang-Chi going to give us the Wolverine costume in the future MCU movies? Why would it be Shang-Chi that does it? Why not just the respective standalone X-Men franchise that is to come in the X-Men in the MCU? I think that's where we would get it, right?
That's what I want, is Wolverine doesn't wear any classic shit in the X-Men movie, but when he goes to Shang-Chi world, then all of a sudden he's in blue and yellow.
I want to see him in a kimono now.
Abhishek Sonaj. I love the trio, bravado. Keep him coming. Here is the thinker. Do you think how few Marvel comics were kind of racist back then? They need to develop those characters with time in this day and age. Yeah. No, absolutely. It's going to always be that way. That's the way it's always going to go. It's like not just a 2021 woke thing. It's a thing. It's the way the world works.
It's the way
as times
everything
evolve,
works.
and then the entertainment industry naturally evolves too, and goes, shit, we got to be more sensitive and reflective of what people really want because they're aiming to satisfy the masses as much as possible. So yeah, I think it's always going to be that way. It's not going to fucking change.
Ideas.
It's going to change, because. Especially nowadays, studios are so plugged into the way people think and feel via social media that it's the way it's always going to go.
Well, and think about it. Like every generation, you get more and more, you get closer and closer to the world through what media is available. So, think about it. Like 50 years ago, you had your news reports and your newspapers. And now, in the last 10 to 20 years, you have everything is visible. And so it only makes sense, that we would just continually update how we see. I should turn these off, right? How we see the world.
That'd be amazing. Thanks, John.
Uh-huh. So, especially with these characters, I think it's important to acknowledge where they came from and how that happened, but then move forward and
I personally would have been fine with Fu Manchu being in this movie.
Yeah, as played by Nicolas Cage, like in Grindhouse. That would have been perfect. Because it's not racist if we cast a white guy.
I think. Hold on, go down.
Gumball?
No, down. This part is what I remember.
Okay.
Yeah. So then, that one. That's where we are.
All right. Then we are back to our
Flev Doran.
Flevulus Doran.
Don't have much else to say. Can't wait to see what awaits Shang-Chi in the MCU. Guys, hope you had a great rest of your day. And Jabby, I've been thinking about throwing my glasses and do laser eye surgery. How does that feel? I think that's a reference to the glasses I was wearing last time.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, how was
Do you
it?
think he should get laser
Do you
eye
think he
surgery?
should get a laser eye surgery with us? Can he borrow your spectacles when he needs to recover?
Those are dope-ass sunglasses. People were mocking me for it, but I love those things.
They're
I get
great.
that reference.
I like them personally.
I
Gumball.
thought they were sexy as hell.
Gumball. I am black and loving.
End of sentence.
Sorry, I'm black and am loving all these diverse directors this year. Can't wait for Chloe Zhao's Eternals and James Wan's Malignant this year. Who's everyone's favorite director? Doesn't have to be a person of color. Haha.
Yeah, but James Wan's been around a while.
I mean, James Wan
We've
would
had-
be.
we've had Asian
one of my
directors for a
favorite
while.
current directors.
Name 4.
John Woo was one. Dude who did Brokeback Mountain is another one. He
Ong
also
Lee?
did the Hulk movie.
Oh,
Ong
dude,
Lee?
he's doing 4. Oh my God, he's almost there.
Yeah, he's halfway.
James Wan.
50%.
The guy who did the Fast and Furious series.
Justin
Yeah,
Lin.
Justin
Oh
Lin.
fuck. Kevin Tancheron.
Kevin Tancheron, Destin Daniel Cretton.
Yeah.
All right, we got 5.
Yeah.
Shit. All right, you win. You won this one.
Yeah,
Suicide
behind,
Squad is
behind
not
the
as
camera,
good.
you've seen them more than in front of the camera. So
Yeah, I think my favorite director is Martin Scorsese. Always has been, always will be. Just like Mel Gibson and Braveheart.
I was just thinking about Mel Gibson's line from Braveheart when you said that.
What?
Always have, always will be, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, Deno Floppy. We're moving on here.
Oh, I guess so. Yeah.
Can you, like...
Favorite
Oh,
directors.
crap. I just lost it. Sorry.
It's okay. Don't
I
worry.
broke it.
Don't
I shouldn't be
worry.
doing this. I should
All
leave.
right.
Deno Floppy. MCU ranking top 5. Number 5, Infinity War. Number 4, Winter Soldier. Civil War. Doctor Strange. Incredible. Endgame. That's funny.
Wait. Okay. Infinity War, Winter
Is that top?
Soldier, Civil War, Doctor Strange, Incredible. Okay. All right. All right. I get you. I get you.
Ah,
Oh, but Shang-Chi's not in there. Okay. Racist.
Racist.
bitch.
Racist.
Totally racist.
Bitch.
We cannot put it in our because we're Asian, so we can get away with not putting it in our top 5. But if you don't, then clearly you have an agenda.
Did you hear that Scorsese said that Shang-Chi was definitely cinema?
Yeah.
He did?
He loved it.
He
Came
said
out,
he
he's
said
like-
this is definitely cinema.
And he
And it
signed
feels like
his
you're
name.
going on an adventure the whole time. It
watched-
feels like you're going on a ride the entire time.
Martin Scorsese comes to the theater with a stack of slips that just say, "Was this cinema?" And there's a box for yes and a box for no, and then he signs it. He just leaves it at every movie.
Yeah. He watched it 6 times already.
Yeah.
Scorsese's overrated as hell. I know. Tell me about it. Taxi Driver, Goodfellas,
Yeah, I know.
Casino,
Casino.
Irishman, Wolf of Wall Street,
The Departed.
New York, The
Yeah, he's
Departed,
overrated,
Shutter
especially
Island.
because like he's not
Raging
even
Bull.
faded in his grip on how to make a
Mean
great movie like
Streets.
so many other prolific filmmakers.
Gosh,
Like, where does he get
yeah,
off?
so
you know?
overrated, that guy. What an asshole, aviator.
Spike Jones.
so let's
Spike
get-
Jones is another favorite director. Gumball. I think he's pretty great.
Michael D'Souza.
Oh, Karen Kusama. There you go.
Karen Kusama says, "Hey, I'm a huge fan of you guys. I've been watching your content since the start." Bullshit. What's the first video we ever
Leave.
did, you ass?
Get out of here.
Liar, Michael.
If you haven't seen my coffee reactions, you're not welcome.
I thought that Shang-Chi was amazing. Tony Leung and Simu Liu. You know what, Simu? You need to change your name to make my life easier.
Simu Liu.
Simu Liu is how you say it. Simu Liu. But I gotta slow down every time I
Liu.
say his name. Simu Liu.
Simu Liu.
Simlu were phenomenal. Can't wait to see more. Oh my God, he says it again. Simu Liu in the future. He's awesome. Have a great stream. Thank you so much, my friend. That
I'm glad
means
you
a
feel
lot.
that way.
What?
I'm Michael D'Souza. I'm glad he feels that way about Simu Liu. I'm glad people are appreciating him. For me, I just want to see him in more MCU films, but not necessarily like I'm not excited about him for non-MCU films at the moment. But John said that has something to do with it just being an expository
Have
film.
you seen Kim's Convenience?
A little bit.
Have you seen Snake Eyes?
That was amazing. Best movie ever. Asian representation, am I right?
Jossie. Hey guys, big fan. Greg, hope you had a good B-day. It was awful. Drunk driving accident. Happy for the Asian community for Shang-Chi. You think the next superhero race should be Hispanic? Are there Hispanic hero in Marvel?
No.
If so, who?
The next is going to be either Indian or Pakistani.
I am so sick of this virtue signaling.
Yeah. Let's just tell our white characters' stories and not shoehorn the rest of the world's experiences in here.
Only reason they are doing things is because of virtue signaling.
Well, we have Miles Morales. So
Was what
Yeah,
so we gotta
take
which
care
is
of-
not the
he
same.
speaks
thing,
Spanish
but
with his
yeah.
mom.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I would love for them to be Hispanic. I think that's yeah, we don't really have that, do we? Not yet.
Not that like readily comes to mind. That's not the Blue Beetle.
We got
because the
America
Blue Beetle's
Chavez
whole-
in Doctor Strange 2 as America Chavez.
As America Chavez.
Zochi Gomez is her name?
Yes,
Yes.
I don't have a great grip on how those X and CH.
Maybe I shouldn't have defended Martin Scorsese in this Marvel
Silver
stream.
Surfer. I just want to know what your opinion is on Quentin Tarantino. Then,
Yeah, I thought the
That's
same
all I
thing.
want
As soon
to
as I
know.
saw that, I thought the same thing. But Miss Marvel's Pakistani.
Let's see.
Or the
here.
actresses, anyway.
yeah,
Okay.
All right.
Let's move on.
Den of
But I would love that.
Ruby.
Personally, Shang-Chi is the second best comic book movie this year for me. Out of 3? What I feel it missed was emotional connection. Hey, we got a criticism here.
Boom.
Criticism alert. That sibling bit, not great. The father's portrayal was negative. He's the bad guy. I just wish there was more weight, which Marvel has issues with mostly.
Wait, what was he saying about the sister? With the sibling connection?
Sibling connection not great, which seems to be kind of a common
I felt that.
criticism. I liked her.
I did not.
I know.
I did not. But I felt like I was in the minority there. I felt like most people who saw the film liked her. But like every time I heard her say a line, I'm like, just say less things.
This
please.
stream will end in on time today because we have a lot to film for other stuff. So, but yeah, I think I don't know. I like the father shit. I guess the sibling thing kind of missed the mark a little bit, but
I didn't feel like they were siblings. The grown-up versions. The younger ones, I felt like they were siblings. But the
feel like
grown-up
they were
versions,
siblings.
I didn't
They
feel
were.
that connection.
I felt them estranged,
Yeah,
you know.
they haven't seen each other in like 28 years or
and they
something.
have like a huge
10
emotional rift between
Yeah.
them.
And like they were kids last. She was like a little girl, and then the next time I see each other, they're like completely different people. So they're bound to not feel like siblings. There wasn't any like fun sibling dynamic between them. That's something I really think could have elevated that performance. You know, like
There was no
some,
part in the
like,
movie where,
banter or some
Shang-Chi
shit.
looks at her and goes, "Hey, remember when we were kids and Dad made us beat up those people?" There's nothing. that
Yes, I
connects.
mean, there's nothing like where they reflect together or like a true emotional scene between them, other than "I'm not going to abandon you again."
Yeah, that was
And
missing.
now I'm back to
Yeah.
my crime
The
shit.
movie should have been longer.
Seeing some Joaquin Torres love in the live chat, as well as White Tiger being good for Latin representation.
Dino Floppy, totally unrelated, but we do a reaction from Malignant on HBO Max. Loves the 3 of you from the Flippy Boy.
Well, thank you.
Probably. I mean, I really love James Wan.
Yeah.
I've heard great things about Malignant. I'm not sure he wants us to watch this movie with a bunch of lights pointed at us.
Yeah, the way we did for The Conjuring 3.
Yeah, I'm like, probably would have enjoyed The Conjuring more without all these lights pointed at us.
Well, that's what that lens is for.
We got a special lens now thanks to this guy.
Yeah, we can keep it more dim in here.
All right. Dino Floppy. Well, now that you said it, I'm a gay guy. And Greg, you are not a cutie. Jesus Christ. What a mean thing to super chat. All right. I'm keeping this whole $1. Oh,
You
everyone-
should. You deserve
Because
it.
I'm taking the blunt.
But he's
burn.
kidding. He's joking. He's joking.
But Jabby is. I'm just kidding. Yeah, he says JK, but he's just saying that because he wanted to get away with telling the truth. When really he's telling John is. Yeah, I know John's a cutie.
No.
John rides off his looks everywhere he goes. Doesn't even need to go to the gym. Fucking asshole, John.
I'm just- It's just one of the few places I'm not comfortable going back to. Sorry. I exercise outdoors.
How great would it have been if Wen Wu was eating Mandarin chicken while talking about the origin of the
Prop
Mandarin?
comedy.
that would have been awesome. All right, guys, we're reaching near the end of the stream here. Just a couple more minutes. We're just wrapping up the end here. I think there's just a couple more.
What is Marvel 1602? I saw that pop up in the regular chat.
That's Earth 1602. That's where Shang-Chi is actually a black guy.
Really?
No.
I was like, what? Hey, anything's possible.
I got a little bit more over here. Come back.
All right, we're
Gonna get the last of the super chats, and then we can cap off by doing one more refresher of the Streamlabs.
Michael K. Williams died? Is that true?
What? Are you serious? That would be a blow. That guy's a great character actor.
Did he really?
No.
Let me look this up really quick.
Yeah.
John, get us set up.
All right.
So we did this one already. This one we finished, so we're above that.
Okay.
All right, that's new.
Oh shit! Michael K. Williams died
Rest in peace. Do they know
from The
why?
Wire, and
Yeah.
Boardwalk Empire.
I just started watching The Wire. I'm on season 2.
Never
Oh,
seen The
man.
Wire. That's a.
This dude's an
legacy
amazing ass
show.
actor.
I know.
Shit.
I just saw him talking
He's always
about
that guy who I'm like, he should be more famous.
I know. He's been holding it down for so long.
No way. He's actually dead. Ah, rest in peace,
moment of
man.
silence.
That fucking sucks. Anyway, let's go back to answering fun Marvel questions.
Abhishek Sanaji.
I love the trio, bro. Bravado. Keep them coming. Here's a thinker. Do you think how few Marvel comics
no, we
were kind of
didn't.
racist? We did that one?
We did this one. But
Okay.
hey, Abhishek, thank you.
Oh, then there. Tinzy. Rumor is Greg made out with Louis Tan in Philip Tan's house.
Yeah.
At Philip Tan's house.
Uh-huh. Yeah, there's
mean-
a video of it.
Louis Tan is a very attractive man, and I think that if he wants to take me out sometime, I'd be more than happy to. I thought he was perfect in Mortal Kombat. Best actor
So
ever,
good.
I'd say.
Jonah Eustace.
So
Whenabouts
good.
do you think Wolverine will be in the MCU?
Phase 5.
Wolverine will be in the MCU when we stop asking for Wolverine to be in the MCU. That's when Kevin Feige's like, press the button.
It's been ready all this time.
They haven't asked for
Drop
a long
him into the
time.
next
Ace in the
movie.
hole.
Yeah, there
Yeah.
you go. Yeah, that's when he'll come into play. That's when he'll come in the
Absolutely.
fray. Thank you guys so much. No more in the Streamlabs, right? I want to make sure we're not.
There's at least one more. Let's
okay.
double check before we do the final.
All right, cool. Just making sure. Then we're gonna stick with the chat for a little bit. But yeah, man, Michael K. Williams. That's really getting to me right now.
Yeah,
Man, that's really getting to me.
Didn't even know.
Stamina MCs he says he's Omar from The Wire. He did
Yeah.
a really, really good job in The Wire.
That's one
He's
of the
in a
characters
lot of
I hear
movies,
name
man.
checked the most.
He's in a lot of movies. He's in fucking Lovecraft Country too.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that.
No,
Yeah.
he is like a veteran actor.
Yeah.
Like he's been holding it down for so long.
Yuri714.
And weirdly enough, somebody commented earlier that it's Idris Elba's birthday, who's also on The Wire.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's where he made that's his claim to fame.
Where he made big, yeah.
Bucky is my boy, and it's the best sidekick of Cap. Kind of a Nightwing next to Batman, in my opinion.
Thank you, Yuri.
It's very relevant to the conversation.
Yuri, it's great having your opinions in here, man. Nightwing is actually the first comic books like character I really got into heavily. I love Nightwing a lot. That's the only reason I want to watch Titans is just to get to Nightwing there.
I think Batman Returns was better than the first Batman. Just on
I
this
think so too.
rando spin-off conversation that we're
too.
doing.
Oh no, actually, I'm being sincere. I completely agree with you.
Boom.
I think Batman Returns is so much better than Batman '89.
Abhishek Sanaji says James Wan with a horror twist in the MCU. How about that? It would be canceled, and then Sam Raimi would take over.
Yeah, guys. I mean, Michael K. Williams is someone we gotta remember. Wire, Lovecraft Country, Boardwalk Empire, just to name a few.
Look up his IMDb, and you'll probably find he's in like half your movie collection.
Versatile actor. So he
So
could be
much presence.
Yeah, my God, he was incredible. He could be intimidating as hell too. But yeah, all right.
Thank you, Dark Horse.
But guys, we're gonna wrap up this stream right now. So let's do a speed round of some questions, and then we'll say goodbye
Tim Vreeling wants to know what's everyone's number grade out of 10
for this movie.
for Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings.
10.5 out of 10.
I hover between 7.5 to 8.
Yeah.
I think
absolutely.
7 would have been my number the first time I watched it, and then now it's probably 7.5. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm about 7. Sometimes I'm an 8, and sometimes I'm just a solid 7.5. What about you, John?
No, I'm right in that like 7.5 to 8 kind of range.
What? We're on the same page.
We're on the same page.
And you don't go to the gym.
I exercise outside.
He walked up to the gate to get in here.
I have stuff to approximate the gym experience, but I need actual weights now. I get it.
And it's not approximating the gym experience.
You know, I get cardio in, and I have like
That's
rubber
not
band
approximating.
things that I use for weight training.
That's what you call it. All
Oh,
right.
all right, yeah.
You know, and I have
Let's go
a
pick up
weighted
some,
jump
help me
rope.
move. Let's go pick up some shit then.
All right, fine.
With all that rubber band strength you got.
I mean, it's not as probably good as having like an actual set of dumbbells or a
That
barbell.
doesn't matter.
or-
You got your beautiful looks.
Can we answer the questions? From
No,
the goddamn-
no. It's time to get mad at John for nothing.
I'll go to the
Just take
gym.
shit
I'll
out
just
on
start
him right
vlogging
now
from
for
the
no
gym,
reason.
being like, "Hey guys, I'm here with everyone's fluids. What's up?"
That's how you work out.
I think
Yeah.
we talked about everything, right, with
I
this
think we
movie?
pretty much
I think we
talked
talked about it like
most
literally
everything.
everything.
Yeah, if anybody has some
Spider-Man
Do you
trailer,
think, do you think
5.5
Shang-Chi-
hours.
Do you
But-
think Shang-Chi will be in No Way Home? That's a question no one's brought up before.
No, I don't
No, of
really
course
think he'll
not.
be in No Way Home.
He's gonna
No.
be. He's in the secret ending.
Unless it becomes that like that room, the library of the Sanctum Sanctorum becomes just like where every other Marvel character is like walking past in the background or something. Like if
Who do you think he was going to have the best chemistry with in a crossover movie? Shang-Chi.
Shang-Chi?
Yeah.
I think
Iron Man, for sure.
Yeah, he's coming back. Yeah.
that's an excellent question. Who? I feel like one of the more youthful. I don't know. I mean, I don't want to be like Spider-Man, but I feel like one of the more youthful, like fun-oriented characters because you know,
Ironheart.
definitely Riri Williams. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Thor.
Maybe.
Actually, no, I think even Thor would have good
Yeah.
chemistry, yeah. I
Yeah.
think Chris Hemsworth would have great chemistry with him.
Yeah,
I mean,
because
Chris,
they're both fun and buff.
Chris Hemsworth definitely knows his way around a PlayStation. So,
That's true.
We should watch them just game against each other. The next Shang-Chi,
Actually, Jules saying Sam Wilson, and I think that's actually not a
I
bad
could
call.
see that
Yeah,
absolutely.
I can see that working out really well.
Dude, and then he and Bucky can, like have odds with each other, to who gets to be Sam's partner.
All right, guys, time to start saying bye. Got a lot to film. Got to get all done in the next few hours. But Stamina, thanks for being here. Jalen, Baka, Koo, Dark Horse, Aurelio, Remy Fox. Ooh, Awkwafina and Shuri. That's a great call.
Yeah.
Varun, Jabby, thanks for being here. Follow Get Jabby on his
Yes.
channel. YouTube.com
Follow him
/
around.
Get Jabby, starring Achara Kirk. Min Mom, Inez Martins, Remmer Bulldog,
Johnny B.
B, Shang-Chi and Vision. Elena is not a bad call, actually.
Elena's pretty good.
CM Michael, J,
Red Guardian.
J Elijah.
Elijah Rivers, yeah.
Guys, you help
Stamina
make this stream
MC,
great.
Brandon Vane.
We prefer doing spoiler talks live because I never know if we're talking about everything that people want us to talk about, so you guys help drive it. Thank you guys
Absolutely.
so much. Keep a lookout for regular uploads tomorrow. Expect at least 12 Spider-Man No Way Home videos this week. And we'll catch you guys soon.
Be well, everyone. Thank you. Crotch.
is that what we're doing?
The crotch. Yes, everyone stand.
But mine's not showing.
End the stream.
Mine's not showing.
And
End the stream.